Companies make deals behind closed doors, promises broken. Hitler income soars, hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line. Television screens bright and loud, sell you dreams, make you proud. Pop the bubble, see the cage you're in. Start the revolution, let the truth begin. Welcome to the chaos.
Welcome to the Chaos live stream with Kat and Damon, where, today is March 8th, 2025, and we're going to start the show now, probably forever. I think I like it, with like the top 10 news briefs. We're going to go into Trump tariff moves, RFK's vax defiance, Epstein stuff. And then we're going to dig into the main topic today, which is, was the Me Too movement a psyop to destroy innocence until proven guilty? Was it a weapon to flip justice on his head? Or is it just feminist hysterics gone wild? So join us today for some fun and some chaos. And the YouTube live chat is open, so feel free to troll, make comments, and yeah. So how are you doing today, Damon?
Good. I'm okay. In a bit of pain, but otherwise good.
Okay. So
I had a very good day. You know that I had a good day.
I'm very proud of you for your good day. I think
it's your fault. It's your fault. You made me wait a long time to do what I wanted to do. I had to have patience.
Yeah.
It wasn't really worth it, but I mean, well, maybe we can talk about it later. Go ahead and open up. Start the day.
All right, so let's do the news briefs. All right, the first one is Trump pushes Putin for a Ukraine ceasefire. So yesterday, which was March 7th, he said Putin's ready to settle the Ukraine war, and Trump has been apparently threatening Russia with tariffs and sanctions if they don't do it. And I know Zelensky did all those weird things. I don't know, like they were fighting or whatever. And let's see, what's the end? So people are saying that Trump might be a peacemaker, or he might be a pawn, or that Putin and Zelensky are both pawns, and that there's some sort of different angle over what's going on. What do you think is happening with these tariffs and the whole Russia and stuff?
But just look at who the people are. I mean, look at who Zelensky is. Can you pick a better pawn than somebody who doesn't belong where he is? You know, it isn't wanted by the public. If Trump, you can hate him, but one thing that he said that was true was, if the people were given a vote, Zelensky wouldn't win it this time. So you can say, oh, we're in a state of war, we can't have an election. Fair enough, okay, but it's very convenient that you're in a state of war that you didn't have to be in if you just listen to other people. And I mean, you can call Putin what you want, but at least you can't call him crazy. He's been warning America and the West for years not to add other nations to NATO, which was a fair demand given that Gorbachev had a deal with Bush Sr. years ago when they tore up the Warsaw Pact. America was supposed to honor the agreement to not join any more countries up to NATO. Gorbachev even let them keep NATO. He said, I'll tear up the Warsaw Pact. You can keep NATO, just don't add countries to it. I mean, it's essentially, it's an anti-Soviet organization. You don't need it, because when was the last time the Soviet Union was actually a threat? Russia's been kind of keeping their end of the bargain, and the rest of the world hasn't. More and more countries have been signed up to NATO. You're encroaching onto Russia, and at this point, after Putin gave countless warnings saying, if you continue to add countries, we're going to consider it a threat to us. And then you want to put a country that's literally on the border with Russia as a NATO member. I mean, it's a tough thing because I can understand, people want to side with Ukraine, other people think that Russia has a point, but we knew about a year and a half ago, Zelensky said that he had a talk with Putin, and Putin would have stopped everything if Ukraine agreed not to join NATO. And then what happened? All of Western media stopped treating Zelensky like a media darling. They stopped putting him on GQ magazine. They stopped treating him like some kind of celebrity, and he lost the spotlight and he lost money. So this is a war that literally other countries are funding because it's just profiteering at this point. And unfortunately, the Ukrainian people got drawn into it for no good reason. And Zelensky's the puppet that helped it happen.
Do you think that, because I feel like, I mean, I don't know, but I feel like 90% sure that Zelensky's a puppet.
Of course he is. Of course he, like,
but like, is there anybody left who doesn't feel that way?
I mean, okay, so did you see, oh shit, what was the name of the guy who Donald Trump called on to ask a question? And a lot of people were pissed off that he asked it, but there was other people who actually thought, no, good, thank you for asking. Where he asked Zelensky, like, why the hell aren't you wearing a suit? You showed up to the White House, you're speaking to the president. It's kind of disrespectful that you don't wear a suit. And he's wearing his, his military fatigues, right? And Zelensky didn't basically answer it. I mean, he gave a bullshit non-answer, basically saying, oh, hopefully I can wear one when I'm not at war, right? It's like, you're in fucking America. The war isn't happening in America.
Fighting a war. It's so ridiculous.
Even when he's in his own country and you're like, oh, but I'm in the war cabinet in my own country. You don't need fucking combat fatigues to be when you're in a war cabinet. What's going to happen? Are you going to have fucking ninjas breaking through the window and fighting you? Like, no, you don't need to be combat ready when you're not fucking boots on the ground. And obviously, this got exposed ages ago at the start of the war when he was posing with a gun and shit, wearing military fatigues. And people were saying he's not actually involved in the combat. Like that was an old photo that was taken before. It had nothing to do with what he's doing right now. But everywhere he goes, he shows up in his combat fatigues to kind of remind people, oh, yeah, I'm at war in case you didn't know. It's like, we all fucking know, dude. What you're doing is purely performative. I'm sorry. And somebody countered with, oh, but when Churchill showed up to America, he was in combat fatigues. Yes, it was a world fucking war. It was happening everywhere. It was literally happening in America as well as in Britain. Like the Ukraine-Russia war isn't happening in the fucking White House. You've got no business wearing that shit.
All right, let's do the next one. We can go through.
Sorry, I'm just saying that's I know. Another example how he's a fucking puppet. Everything he does is performative. There is a real war. It is real. People are fucking dying. They don't need to. And he's just an opportunist. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's how it seems to me.
So also the mainstream is saying that RFK Jr. is shrugging off the quote unquote deadly measles outbreak. And some people are also saying that this is proof that big pharma's pull on people is dying out. And RFK is doubling down that it's not that big of a deal, which is good because I heard opposite. I heard before he was kind of promoting the measles stuff, and now he's kind of going a little back. So what do we think? What do you think?
Not sure. I like RFK usually. He's got good points. I like what he's doing. Not sure how I feel about this though, to be honest.
Because
What do you think?
I've heard both things, and I don't know. Sometimes I think like he's controlled now because he says some things that are very pro it, and that makes me uncomfortable. And then the next day it'll be very against it, and that makes me like, okay, he's still on our side. And now I'm like not sure. I'm like which one is it? What is he going to be promoting? And I don't know if he's like scared of someone or something happening, like they talk to him or whatever, or if he's just backtracking for like maybe money or to be elected for something later or whatever.
Well, there's money in politics.
Of course.
Yeah,
Right,
I think that what you need is one kind of disruptor in power. And Trump is a disruptor in many ways. We've seen it. But I don't know if he's got the balls to do what really would fix things is if you adopt the old system that they had in the East with regards to how either a national health service or some kind of government sponsored medical provisions would have worked, whereby you have a system so that anyone in the medical field gets paid when the public is healthy, right? So basically everybody pays a contribution into a system, or anybody would have like in their area an appointed doctor, like, you know, a general physician, but you also have hospital workers, everyone else. And that would include pharmaceutical companies, and they get paid pretty much like a guaranteed sum based on the population that's healthy, right? But anyone that is unhealthy, anybody that's in need of healthcare, all of a sudden stops paying. You will only pay a contribution when you're healthy. So in this way, you incentivize true healthcare, and you're going to incentivize finding cures rather than finding treatments. But at the moment, what you have is, people will pay when they're sick. Okay, and if big pharma is in bed with the government, what's going to happen? They're going to want the government to allow shit that's unhealthy. This is how you come up with a system whereby when cigarettes came out on the market, everybody was saying it's healthy. Smoke cigarettes, it's good for your lungs. You're exercising your lungs, right? And you get sugar put in fucking food, which shouldn't even fucking be sweet. Why is it if you're buying savory fucking food, right? Why the fuck does sugar need to be in it if it's savory? Like, what the fuck is the point? And you're buying dessert, and if you look at the ingredients, there's salt in it. Why the fuck? Like, you put so much shit that doesn't belong in stuff. And, you know, RFK pointed all of this shit out. Like, why is it that you need 100 million fucking ingredients to make something that your grandma used to be able to make with 4?
You heard what they're doing. The same companies that were responsible for the cigarette industry that moved to the food industry now because of Ozempic ruining their profit margins. Now they're trying to make Ozempic resistant addictive foods.
You need to keep people sick. That's the whole point, because you're not going to get paid. The only way people get paid at the moment is the only way people in healthcare and people in the pharmaceutical industry get paid right now is when you're sick. So they want to make you sick. So a good leader should say, we're going to change this rule, and you guys only get paid when people are healthy. So now all of a sudden we know that you've got our best interests at heart, because you're losing money.
I do have something to say about that.
Sorry, go ahead.
If you do that, which, yes, that's the more benevolent thing to do, how are people going to keep making more and more money? Because it seems like the whole way the world works is you have to continuously up and up profits so that you can maintain power. And if you're making people healthy and happy, they're not buying stuff to fill the void. They're not.
Well, of course they are, because they're going to be they're going to be they're not buying stuff at an ever increasing pace. I agree, but that's never going to happen. That's something that old school capitalists didn't understand. Most capitalists nowadays understand that you're going to reach a threshold whereby you're making the most money that you're going to make. There is a threshold where you're going to plateau, and you can't make money beyond that. All as you can do is say, well, I'm going to start increasing costs. I'm going to start increasing what I'm charging people for the product. But you're going to eventually cap out based on like population figures and everything else. But the best way to make money at the moment is by trying is that system of you pay when you're healthy. Because if you think about it, if people are only paying when they're sick, what's going to happen? Eventually your population is going to start dying off, especially if people are getting sick the way they are now. Because right now there's such a health crisis with things like obesity and things like testosterone levels dropping and stuff like that. That we're not keeping population figures where they should be. So like you've got a problem with depopulation right now. So what's going to happen is that those sick people are eventually, there's not going to be enough of them to pay. So if you want to be making profits, how are you going to be making profits if the population numbers are dwindling? I think it would be in everybody's best interests, apart from maybe insurance companies, but there's ways around it for them. If you just decide we're going to swap things, and also it's going to help with regards to people are going to have more faith in the people that are supposed to be looking out for them, which right now, I mean, people are losing faith in everything. Media, healthcare, politics. What, people losing faith?
Yes, because you have to break everything to rebuild.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that this is what we're saying. We're saying that like you need to rebuild it the correct way, whereas you incentivize cures. You make sure that people are working in their best interests, and that's how you get the faith back. But the thing is that you can't just break it without rebuilding it, right? So when you're saying, oh, it's a good thing that people don't have faith, it's a good thing if it gets them to wake up and try and fix the problem. But when you fix the problem, it needs to be done in a way where people hopefully are going to have faith in their system.
Okay, so like if you were responsible for every part of, let's say, America, right? How would you rebuild it so that we still make money, we're still like, but we're healthy, and we're still some sort of like powerhouse that we can maintain some sort of power in the world, so like we don't get invaded or like we still have, whatever, like what we have. We don't want to lose that, but we still want to keep the population not sick. And I don't know how to do both.
I think the first thing that I'd do is, and I'm not just saying this because of Trump, but close the border, deport everybody who doesn't belong in the country, right? That's the first thing you've got to do.
People who are unhealthy.
No, not just unhealthy, but deport everyone who doesn't belong there. You need to stop wasting money.
We're gonna do that.
Right. But that's the first step, right? The first step is you have to save money. So the second step would then be you have to look at countries that got certain things right. And this is one thing that America always did do, especially post World War II. So you need to look at countries who have got some good ideas, learn from them, adapt them to suit you, right? So in the UK, the NHS was a good idea. The problem was it was open to abuse, deliberately so. And now that it's been open to abuse for so long, the way it's falling apart is kind of embarrassing. And if you just look at what the problem was behind it, you would know how to implement it in the correct way. So you have people putting money into a system and people take from it when they need to. It's very simple. Not everyone is going to be sick all the time. But if everybody pays, then those people who need it in their times of need, obviously, they're not going to take the whole lot. It's basically just a little safety net. Have that. Have it in place. Make it easier to access than what you have at the moment. You could adapt the idea that I think it was Japan had, which we spoke about a moment ago,
Mm.
whereby you have either a certain amount of tax or a separate payment that will go into supporting supporting healthcare and pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies, you need to change the way. I mean, there needs to be legislation in place to stop them from becoming to stop it from being basic profiteering. So I think that you need to have more teaching hospitals. Okay, if you have more teaching hospitals in place, um, hospitals could have got a second avenue of funding that way. Um, you can have many of them which will have research centers linked to them as well. Okay, so you get more places that will be in on the actual developing the science and looking for cures. Um, if you so somebody in the comments said disagree that you can't compare us with Japan. When I mentioned Japan, I just mentioned because of the system that they had where people will pay their doctors when they're healthy. So doctors and out there back in the day when this system worked, the doctors were the people who were actually making the medicine as well. They worked with the pharmacies. So anyone that's involved in your treatment, whether it's actual surgical procedures or drug administration and actually making the drugs and the treatments, they will only make money when you are healthy. Any member of the
Can I
community
just
that is
say
not
something
healthy
about
doesn't
that?
pay. Yeah.
The law of unintentional consequences for that will be the same as the schools. The school have this thing like the teacher will get bonuses if all the students pass these stupid like assessments that they have, right?
Yeah.
So what the teachers do is if anyone is not performing well, they basically bully them out of the classroom.
Or what's worse, what happened in the UK when the same thing was going on with us is they were just passing people who were actually not competent.
Yes, yes,
So we
that
had an
too.
epidemic that was called there was this basically there was an epidemic of teachers failing to fail. Like you're failing
Yes.
to fail your students. Like
Yeah.
and this is how deluded the population got. The population got so deluded that they thought, oh look, these are the best schools in the UK. Why? Because they've got 100% pass rate. All of their students pass. Really? I mean, they're the hardest schools to get into, right? They're meant to be teaching you the hardest shit. Like the stuff that you're learning there is like a very heavy curriculum. There's a lot of shit that they teach you that you're not going to learn at other schools. And yet everybody passes. Like, could it be that they spoon feed you the answers? There's universities now where you've got 3 opportunities to retake your exams. And if you fail, you can go and you can do a resit, then you can do a second resit. And in the second resit, they give you a prep course before your exam. So in the prep course, somebody actually recorded this. You can find it online. In the prep course, the teacher is actually giving the answers to the kids. He's actually telling them what the answers are. Like, just copy this, memorize this shit. Here's the answer. This is what they're going to ask you. Like, you know what the question is as well, because after the third resit, the fourth paper is the same paper. So, like, can you set it up any easier for people to pass who actually don't deserve to pass? And
Yeah,
also,
so
not to mention, pass marks are like 40% now. That means that you can literally you can actually fail more shit than you get right, and you're still being called competent. How are you competent when there's more shit that you don't know about your field than the shit that you do know?
so how would we fix this? Like you're the god of America, let's say.
Well, okay, I think the thing that people in society would first have to realize is you're going to fail. People are going to fail. Right now, you've got, I mean, Generation Alpha, is it the kind of newest one? They're actually
Mhm.
kind of based, but the prior generations, like the Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
And also the tail end of millennials.
Yes.
Um, so unfortunately, they have this kind of notion whereby they think, oh, like you can't fail. Everybody wins. Everyone's a winner. Like, I mean, no, you can't have everybody being a winner. Like, and I get the whole issue with the participation trophies kind of creating that idea of like everyone's a winner, you know, like all you got to do is try. It's like, no, people need to understand like um you need to get back to America in the 1980s, right? This is why I think everybody resonated with Trump,
Hmm.
because he literally was like that kind of poster child of the 80s success, right? So if you if you look at if you look at how culture was back then, America and a lot of Europe as well, but in particular America was a shining beacon of this, was the pursuit of excellence and success. No matter what. Like you work hard, do whatever the fuck you got to do. Even and it would they were unabashedly in pursuit of success. Like it was literally like, you know, fuck over anyone else who you have to, right? Like kids today watch Wall Street and they think, oh, that's disgusting. But back then, everybody watched Wall Street and were like, those guys are fucking gangsters. I want to be like that. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, yes, it's greed, it's excess, it's this, it's that. But that, what do people want today? They want that same shit. They want excess. They want greed. They want everything. They want the convenience. They want all the material wealth they can have. They want all this. And yes, I get it. We shouldn't need that stuff. We shouldn't want that stuff. But what's way more dangerous than craving that is thinking that any of it is terrible and just not even bothering to try and being willing to kind of sit back, be a loser, and live off of handouts, which is what people are happy to do today.
Yeah.
And also, they think it makes them virtuous. It doesn't make you virtuous to be a lazy fucking loser who never tries at anything. I would be Gordon Gekko any day of the week, other than being some fucking loser who lives on handouts and then kind of scoffs whenever they hear millionaires or billionaires being mentioned and thinking those people are disgusting. No, you're fucking disgusting.
Okay, so these are some things that I think that I would do. I want to bring back things like quality and like pride in your work. So I would make laws that would severely punish to the point of the company would go under anyone who lets out a product that basically does not last for an extended amount of time, right? So like remember like a light bulb used to last for 100 years, now it's like I don't know, 100 hours, whatever. Or like a toaster used to last for generations, and they could make it like that today. Or a stove, or you know, laundry, this or whatever. Like products used to last forever. They were made with quality to the point where if you go to a vintage market today and you find old electronics, most of them will work and were only replaced because they went out of fashion. And they replace it with what? The cheap, disposable, looks good, but when you touch it, like it'll bend and warp, you know, like those type of appliances from China and
Well,
whatever they can get cheap.
I went to my grandmother's house. Um, I went to my grandmother's house earlier this year, and she had a fridge and a washing machine that is older than my mother. And she's got a brand new washing machine, and she's also got a second fridge, a new fridge. But she hasn't thrown away the old washing machine or the old fridge. Why? Because it works better than the new one. It's not
Yes.
that she can't use the new one, it's that she didn't want it. Relatives bought it for her, and she thinks that they're shit.
Hmm.
And she's right, because this fridge that she's got has got like it's a fridge freezer, right?
Yeah.
And for as long as I've been alive, she's never defrosted that motherfucker.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've got a fridge that I bought 2 years ago. I've defrosted it about 8 fucking times, right? And yeah, people built shit to last because they never thought back then that we're going to be a throwaway society. That fridge is built out of metal. Do you remember when everything was
Yeah.
made out of metal? Yeah,
Yes.
I had toys that were made out of metal. Like my cousins, every toy that they've got is some cheap fucking plastic shit.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, we know that we're a cheap throwaway fucking society. Yeah. Like if you went back in time, and met your like former self when you were a kid and you show them a mobile phone, right? They're gonna think like, holy shit, this is the best fucking thing ever. If you now tell them, yeah, we throw this shit away every 2 years and buy a new one, my younger self would slap my ass silly. Like it's ridiculous. You think, how the fuck could you throw that shit away? Like I remember when I was a kid and I got a Game Gear. I'm like, I'm looking after this shit. I'm looking after this shit. Like I'm caring for this shit better than a baby brother. Like because you know how much it costs. You know that it's like a delicate piece of equipment. You want to look after it. You want to care for it, right? You want to look out. You don't want your shit breaking. So you look after that stuff. Most of my friends, they buy a mobile phone and like within about 3 or 4 months, the screen is fucking cracked. They don't give a shit about that stuff. They drop it in the toilet within about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I remember like when I was younger, they were talking about how like some third world countries, because they didn't have money to keep replacing stuff, they would buy like the old Nokia phones, and they had places on every corner that could fix them, could open them up and fix them. So they would basically last forever, like the whole person's life. It wasn't like the, like the iPhone technology, but like they can make calls and send messages, which was good enough. And I thought that was so interesting. And here we have to pay 10 times more for something you can't even fix. It's literally, it becomes obsolete. The same with computers. They become like you get an Apple PC, whatever, after a certain amount of years, they won't even upgrade it. It's unupgradable. You have to throw the whole thing in the trash.
Yeah,
Everything
well,
is just made
let's
to
not
be
forget the
disposable.
trouble that let's not forget the trouble that Apple got into for basically designing phones to break down. And
Yeah.
how many companies are exposed for like using batteries that they knew were going to fail? And
Mhm.
nobody's still questioning today how the fuck. Do you know if you are in the business of manufacturing a product, okay? Let's be honest. There has to be some insider fucking rules or policies. There has to be some kind of insider practice which makes it so that all of these companies are in it together to fuck over the public and to exploit the public for gain. Because I don't understand why no company has said, we're going to release a product today. We're going to release a mobile phone where you can change the fucking battery, a modular phone, right? Where you can change the chip, for example, or change the screen, for example, or change out the camera module. So every let's say year or so, you can get a new battery for it. You can get a new processor for it. Yeah, but you can get a new chipset. You can get a new camera module for it. You just swap it out with the old with the new, instead of spending like over $1,000 on a new fucking phone every couple of years.
Yeah.
Now there was one company that wanted to do that, a modular phone. So they were supposed to be released about, I think it was something like 18 months ago, nearly 2 years. About 2 years ago, it was supposed to be released.
Hmm.
And it was on Kickstarter and it didn't
Yeah.
get funded. How the fuck didn't it get funded? I was watching that. I
You know
was watching
why?
that.
We know why.
Yeah,
The
because it would
people,
put everyone else out of business.
yeah, so the mega corporations will like
Buy
hide
it and
things
shutter it.
or buy it and
No,
shut it
yeah,
down.
they'll buy it and shut it down. I guarantee you that if you just came out with a concept, set up a business, come out with a concept that you're going to release
Yeah.
a modular phone. Don't do any R&D whatsoever. Don't invest any money whatsoever, right? But just Photoshop some pictures, bullshit, lie about some stats, make it sound like it's fantastic, right? Release it on Kickstarter and watch how quickly a big company is going to come and offer you millions to basically buy your shit and shut you down. It's going to happen. I guarantee that that's what they're doing. They're watching to see if other people are looking to do that stuff, and they'll basically say, no, we're going to shut you.
This is for you.
Sorry. Oh, hang on a
Damon,
second.
why do you think so many people are pissed about the idea of U.S. manufacturing coming back? Because it would mean fair wage competition instead of the slave labor found in China.
Yeah, yeah. But I see those products are quality products. We spoke about this before, I think, with
Which one?
Teriyaki.
Which one?
Slave labor products.
Well, it
You
depends on
can't. No, you've seen
how
the
you
video.
design the product. I mean, you can tell, supposedly slaves made the pyramids, so like
Look,
that's quality.
I don't want to sound racist,
Oh
okay?
God, here we go.
But Kat, I'm sorry, you're the biggest racist here, so don't get upset when I want to do it a little bit. But we've seen those videos. Asians have got some next level skill,
Yeah, they do.
okay? And
So it's
especially
not
Asian
their fault.
kids. You seen
Mhm.
that 4-year-old
Nice
Asian kid that
little.
plays a
Mhm.
piano like a
Yes.
genius, right? So imagine you've got like you've got a massive sweatshop full of
Mhm.
about, let's say, 600 Asian kids making trainers or making clothes, like stitching stuff together. That's going to be, and also the survival of their family depends on them, right? They're bringing in money by doing this.
I feel
So
like not letting
the
kids work
pressure,
is a problem.
no, but the pressure is on them, and you know that they're going to get you're going to get a good product when those kids are doing it. So I'm all for bringing back American production, right? Like develop shit in America, right? But we need to get American kids' skill level up, right? And it still needs to be like a sweatshop. We need kids that feel like I'm going to get the shit beaten out of me if I don't do a good job. I need to stitch this stuff well. You make a good product. Make a good product. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to buy some stuff and like, I bought a pair of trainers, right? And there was like a lace loop that I had to put the laces through. The thing came out and it was all frayed at the end. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And the sole looked like it was already coming apart.
Yeah,
And that was,
my
yeah, go ahead.
husband gets his shoes made from like I don't know what country, but like it's probably something like that, maybe child labor or something like that. We don't know, but they make it so good that he just has to. He sent it to the same company, and they like restitch things and like replace the
Yeah.
bottom, whatever, and then they send it back, and it's like perfect again.
You
And
need tiny childlike fingers to be able
yes,
to do a good job on that.
and what are kids doing? They're playing video games.
Yeah.
Is that better?
No.
We
Get them
need
doing something that
products.
you can, yeah.
See,
Slave
just
labor. I mean, you can
how
knock it.
much
You
do
can
you
knock
think
it,
we
but
should be able to pay children? Because I feel like what allowance should they be able to have? They don't need to like support a family.
they
They're
don't need
children.
allowance. The parents are looking after them. They're not paying rent. They don't have any bills.
Yeah, they have no
None.
work ethic anymore with the video games and just the sitting in their comfy homes, not having anyone tell them what to
Look,
do, and their teacher telling them, "Tell me your feelings.
for
You're
all
a
of the bad
victim."
shit, for all of the bad shit that people said about slavery, right?
Yeah, people were
Who are
happier.
you gonna trust? Who are you gonna trust that's gonna do a good job? If you pay some gardeners to come and like take care of your field, right?
Yeah.
And they can just come and you're paying them, like they know what they're gonna get paid. They're on an hourly wage,
Yeah, but
and you're like,
pay
I
them
need this
something
done.
decent. Like we should have like, what's it called? Like OSHA or whatever is that make sure it's safe or whatever. There's some standards so they don't get injured or like they have some sort of like
See, but this is
compensation
the
for
okay. So going back to the earlier point, Kat, you
yeah.
you said that you were going to bring in laws to make sure that this. If I was in charge of America, I wouldn't be doing that shit. Okay,
What?
laws are the problem. You need less laws, not more.
We need something just to make people safe. Like
Yeah,
you
but
cannot do
your
anything
idea
at
of
the expense of
safety,
somebody's life.
no, but your idea of safety is punishing, right? Punishing laws, right? I think that if you get rid of a lot of fucking laws, people are going to be less constrained. And yes, some bad shit might happen because some laws
Well,
are there to
bad shit's
protect. I
happening
agree.
now, so
No, but I think that the solution is you need to get rid of a lot of these fucking laws. The government doesn't belong in every fucking nook and cranny of your life. Okay? It doesn't. What the one thing that I would do is
oh,
I
how
would
about this one? How
establish.
about this one? I like this. Okay, so the answer is to make remote robotics into a game and pavement candy. But I like the first part, remote robotics. So the kids are home, right? But they get to earn their allowance by playing a game where they're like basically moving a robot somewhere to do something that their little minds and stuff can do pretty easily. Why can't we do that?
Yeah, there could be. I mean, I think that the problem right now is that you're like, kids need to learn shit, so we're going to send kids to
Not
school. It's
all
like,
kids. Why don't we
I
just
think
like decide who's going to be the doctor, who's going to be the lawyer, who has the mental capacity? We could probably figure that out by
again,
12.
Kat, again, I would urge you to not be a
Dictator?
Democrat-like dictator, right? It's not down to us to decide what the kids are going to be.
But if
That's
they
for them
don't
and their parents to
qualify,
decide.
no, but if they don't qualify, it's let's say I want to be a mathematician, I can barely add, right? Shouldn't someone
Look,
have the right
okay,
to say no, you
if I
can't. We're
was
not
if
going
I
to
was going
teach
to
you that.
be okay, but Kat, look, we can make judgment calls like that. We can say, for example, hey, look, right? There's certain kids that are going to immediately qualify and that are going to be guaranteed a position in higher education. And there's other kids that definitely won't be, right? Okay. So like we can make some kind of suggestions policy wise to say, look, if you grew up in a house that's got wheels, then
Mhm.
you go straight into a job. Like, there's no point going to higher education. That's not for you. You're not going to have a very bright future. All right. You're going to be working in some supermarket, cashing people's groceries out. Okay.
But I do
But
know
we,
some people who are very intelligent that grew up with a home on wheels. So you can't
okay,
say
fine
that for
then. So that's
everyone.
my point. That's my point. It's not for us to decide this shit.
Yes, but we should
It's
have
down
some
to the
sort of
parents.
an assessment test, but not something that you need to
But
study
that's what we've
for.
got.
Something like hands-on. Like, here, you want to do this? Let's see how your
Hang on a second.
logic
Mike
works.
was saying, no, I disagree, Damon. We shouldn't get rid of. Oh, right. Okay. So we shouldn't get rid of laws, but people, I do agree that we shouldn't be so dependent on the government. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Small government. Small government. There's a lot of laws, though, especially in health and safety, which have got nothing to do with health or safety. A lot
Oh,
of those laws are basically just created and kept on paper so that you can have governing bodies getting paid for doing fucking nothing, like literally
yeah.
nothing. And it just hampers people production wise. Um, it just hampers everything. Like, you can't get shit done. Look at how quick America was being developed. Look at places like New York City. Look at how quick high rises were going up before
Mhm.
you had health and safety laws. And then all of a sudden you got health and safety laws. And how long does it take to get a building built now? And
Mhm.
if you look at safety assessments on those buildings, they're not as safe as buildings that were built 60 years ago. Why is that?
No
Like,
safety?
yeah, it's bullshit. It's
I don't
bullshit.
know.
America used to buy the best. Now America financially is in a position where they need to be careful. You've got so many departments that will do all kinds of oversight and all kinds of evaluation. If somebody wants to buy something for their office, you can't
Uh-huh.
just buy shit. I had a problem with one of the departments in a place that I work at where somebody wanted to buy something for the office. And they were like, oh God, I'm just going to buy it myself. You're not allowed to. You can't bring it in. It has to be approved by infection control and by health and safety. And that somebody needs to do like some paperwork shit on it, and oh, it needs to get reviewed every couple of months. You can't just decide to buy your own keyboard and bring it into work because somebody needs to do a pat test on it and see if it's safe to use. What? Why? Who the fuck says that? All as you're doing is hampering shit from getting done.
I don't know. Because we do need someone to look to make sure something is done safe. For example, when I was getting my bathroom remodeled, I had an inspector come. The inspector pulled me inside and said, look, they're doing this and this and this wrong. I'll approve it. It's your house if you're okay with that. And I'm like, what's the worst case scenario? He's like, well, I would say it's a pretty high likelihood that you might get a leak back in the wall and never notice it, and then, like,
Okay, so do you
that'll
know
be
what's
there.
sufficient, Kat? Do you know what's
What?
sufficient?
What?
Because if you want to open a restaurant, and you're going to be, because it's a restaurant, you're going to be serving drinks along with food as well, right? So
Mhm.
you're going to need one person who's going to come in and evaluate like food health and safety.
Yeah.
Then you're going to need to have somebody come in, and you're going to have to deal with somebody else because you're serving drinks. Okay. And so you need to see, like, oh, if you got all the legal requirements in place for serving drinks and the
Yeah.
licenses that you need for that. Then, because there's electrical equipment, you're going to have another assessment done, like for all your electrical shit. And oh, you might be using gas to cook. So somebody has to come and check your gas out. Then, oh, because it's a building where you're going to be serving food, there needs to be somebody to check for things like mold or damp or whatever, right? There's so many different fucking people involved in this shit that if somebody wanted to do a good job, and if this wasn't all just bloat to justify extra jobs and positions and you
Mhm.
spending more money,
Yeah.
somebody would say, if we're going to create a department for health and safety, we're going to make sure that the services that they provide is going to cover everything. So it doesn't matter if you're serving food, and we can't say, look, we don't deal with food. That somebody else is going to come and check that out. We only do gas or electric. Oh, we don't deal with mold. We only deal with this. Oh, you want pest control for that shit? No, you have one body that's capable of assessing everything, and you streamline it. And you say to them, if you're going to try and justify charging somebody 75 grand, then you need to be able to provide a full comprehensive service for what you're doing. And we don't need 10 or 12 different bodies to get one fucking thing done. If somebody wants to open a business doing something like that, they shouldn't jump through 120 fucking hoops. It should be easy. But right now, what everyone's doing, especially with regards to government work, is it's just creating positions to be filled. If you get a job there, you can be like, well, look, I've got a friend who can do some work. I'll create a department for them to go and work in, and they're in charge of that thing. And then, maybe we can create another department and get our wives in on the business as well. It's all a fucking racket. This is what Doja's been exposing. But we all know that. You want to retire? Why? Oh, I don't have so much time. Well, I'm going to create a job for you that you can do from home. And really, you're retired.
Yeah.
But all I need you to do is log in and send a couple of emails. And you can carry on claiming a paycheck.
Do you think that the government should have like a database of like easy jobs for people who are disabled to do?
Why?
And like, because this is what I'm thinking. You have to incentivize people to hire people who are like, maybe like older, physically weak, disabled, so the government doesn't have to pay for them. So the government could have a database where the employers get tax breaks for hiring specific employees.
Well, look at it this way, Kat. This is one of the things that I don't understand, right?
Yeah.
We've got something like you guys complain about the DMV, right? Everyone in America I know complains about the DMV.
Uh-huh.
And the equivalent that we've got here in the UK is pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
So, and I'm not just talking about like licensing, but there's a lot of jobs. There's a lot of people who do certain specific jobs where when I have to go and encounter those people, I'm like, I think your purpose in life was to be put on this world to really push me to the limit where I have to question, could I take a life? Because these are the most infuriating fucking people I've ever met. And I really do think that if I was going to take another life, this is the point where I'm really, really feeling tested. So those are the jobs where I wonder, like, you don't need any common sense to do the fucking job that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're people who look like they don't even want to work, right? And I do get it. I think that there are certain jobs out there where people think, I don't want to do this. I'm just going in there because it's a paycheck. And they've got no incentive to do a good job. But there's other people who literally would love to have a job, but nobody's hiring them. So for those specific jobs, I'm like, okay, look, I think that in my local place, which is the equivalent of what you guys have with the DMV, I've never seen these people get out of their chair. So why couldn't that be a person in a wheelchair? Like you're sitting at a desk.
Yeah, but people don't want to hire people with disabilities because it
Well, yeah.
requires them to do more work. That's why I'm suggesting there should be some sort of an incentive to hire them. Otherwise, they're not going to get hired. And then they'll just be a drain on resources.
Well, we've got that in the UK already. I don't know. I thought you guys had that in the States. There are incentives for businesses to hire people who are disabled.
Mm. Well, are we done with this? You want to go to the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I feel like we can't fix this.
We can't fix anything.
I know. So like, this is just very depressing. I don't know how like Trump and everybody are going to fix anything, because I feel like every time you come up with one way, okay, let's do this, this will help some people, then you realize unintended consequences, then all these bad things are going to happen. So the only way is if we're not a very wealthy country and we're just a very happy country where people kind of like make a lot of their own stuff and, you know, kind of like help each other. Maybe like if we went back to that, but that's not going to happen.
There's somebody in my company.
So many different people.
There's somebody in our company that gets paid £76,000 a year just for sending us emails telling us what Pride Month or what special month of the year it is or what week we're celebrating, or just sending out emails. That's all they're doing. It's raising awareness, and you get 76,000 a year for it. Like,
insane. Because
really?
I know people with lots of fancy degrees, very intelligent people who just got a lot of education, and then they got out and they can't find a job because they gave them degrees for things that were very expensive degrees, knowing that there would be no big demand. You can't give 1 million degrees for something that has 20 positions. You can't do that. And one of the problems is that schools don't face any like penalties for giving degrees that are worthless out.
Well, yeah, this is what we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, and I already told you what I think. I think that you should only pay off your education if you actually got a job that's related to what your degree is. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go and it's free education. And if I get a job related to what you taught me, then I'll pay you for the degree. But if what you taught me is worthless and has helped me in no way, shape or form, then I'm not giving you a fucking penny.
Yeah. I mean, I think there should be something, but then again, everything that I think about to fix is more regulations and more laws. And then it's like, yes,
no, but look, we don't
want bad regulations and bad laws that are just there to make money. I think that's the difference. Or like, you know, DEI stuff or like awareness stuff, you know, like all that weird, useless stuff. If we just remove that, there's still some things that we need regulations and laws for.
So, look, it's all about what you incentivize, okay? You don't need a law for shit like this. You can just show some form of support, okay? And governments used to have certain governing bodies or regulatory bodies that would promote certain things or that would question other things. You don't have to say, look, we're going to get rid of this. But there used to be this idea of like, if a company succeeds, it succeeds on its merit. But now you see a lot of companies will kind of pay their way to success, right? If you think, well, what's a good what's a good company that manufactures TVs? What's a good company that manufactures cars? What's a good company that manufactures computers, right? And before it used to be that, Like if you bought something from a certain company, they made that shit. They made all of that stuff. That was theirs. And then what you find nowadays is, oh well, if you buy a TV, that company didn't really make it. You know, they made the chipset that's in it, but the panel was made by somebody else. The screen is an old LG screen, and it's just repurposed for this. This company buys screens from them and puts that in, and this car buys these parts from that company and these parts from that company and just puts it together. So it's like if you look at how that's done in manufacturing with products that we buy, everything that used to once be reliable and you used to think you understood it, now you question it. But it's like that in other areas as well with regards to schools. If you think, why are some of these Ivy League places failing? Are they failing because they're doing shit wrong? Or is it somebody has brought some policies forward that just makes them question how they can now work? They can't work the way they used to. They're in competition with certain other things now that are hampering their performance, and they have to figure a way to be successful in a different way now. And Hollywood's done this as well. Hollywood used to go from like, we need a blockbuster. We need a blockbuster if our company is going to succeed. Mm-hmm. But now there's no incentive for Hollywood to make a good film.
Well, because they're getting all their money funneled for DEI crap.
Exactly. Somebody's literally paying them to essentially not fail necessarily, but Hollywood is now, it's not a film production company.
Yeah.
It's not a film production company. It's an advertising company.
Yes. For propaganda.
And they're getting paid essentially to succeed, right? So we realized this like 10 years ago. We all realized Hollywood's dead 10 years ago, right? And COVID was the final nail in the coffin. Remember when they were blaming their losses in earnings on COVID and saying, oh, people aren't going to the cinemas anymore?
Yeah, it was.
And then all of a sudden you had Top Gun Maverick that came out and like cracked $1 billion in no time at all. And everyone's like, whoa, look, you're saying that nobody's watching movies. And you had these 3 blockbusters, which you told us were going to be fantastic, and they all fucking failed. And 2 of them were big Disney blockbusters that made no fucking money whatsoever. But Top Gun Maverick comes out and kills everything dead. Why is that? Well, if you just consider for a moment the game that they're playing, everything is about the illusion of success, not actual success. Because they decided that they're going to take this NWO money and that they're going to just push the agenda, the DEI rainbow agenda and all this shit. And they're going to turn Hollywood into basically a conditioning operation. And it's all about cultural subversion, right? And if you don't play the game, they're going to shut you out. They're the gatekeepers now. But what happened when we realized your films are shit, we're not going to pay to see them anymore? In the end, what they decided to do was they decided that they were going to lie about being successful. So they lied about the profit margins. They were like, look, no, we've made this much money. Like, no, you didn't make that much money. You're not factoring in the costs of advertising, the marketing, the screening your films. You're not factoring in any of these costs. And actually, you guys, you're claiming that you made like 320 million, but actually you lost something like 600 million. Mm-hmm. And when people started exposing that and doing their homework on how Hollywood is just become like an agenda farm and losing hundreds of millions per film, they did something different. They went to the Academy. They went to the SAG Awards. They went to the Academy Awards. They tried to get the BAFTAs involved in it. And they said, there's a condition that you have to require to have any film being considered for nomination. And now, if you make a film and it doesn't meet those ESG DEI standards, your film can't be up for nomination. Which is why a lot of good films that are coming out now, people are questioning, why wasn't that up for an Oscar? That should have been up for an Oscar. Oh, it didn't qualify because it doesn't have a side story about some trans character getting to talk about their personal truth. It didn't have 50% Latino and black staff working on it. Like it didn't have enough gay people represented on screen. Like if you don't meet those conditions, you're not going to be eligible for an Oscar. So this is what they're doing, because that's how you kind of move the goalposts of the game that you're playing, so that you can create the illusion of success, and why you can have a piece of shit film win a whole bunch of Oscars when it's bullshit. I mean, look at this year's Oscars. Literally nobody I know watched any of the films that were up for nomination.
Yep, nobody I know.
Yeah. And who won? Was it Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress? That black chick who was in that musical about some trans drug dealer from Mexico.
Nobody knows.
Yeah,
but it's like the propaganda has no teeth anymore, because it's so bad that they've shot themselves in the foot. They can't even use it because it's not working. Nobody cares. You can't.
But this is what happens. This is what happens when you give people a shortcut to like fake success.
Yeah.
You're like, this is, I mean, I've got more respect. I've got more respect for, so I'm trying to remember the name of this actress. What was that film, the musical about that Mexican drug dealer who
I didn't watch it.
Transitioned.
I haven't watched a movie.
Please watch the clips. It's so hilarious, because even if you're like, I'll give it a chance, it fails on merit. Even it's meant to be a musical, and the dialogue, look at the lyrics. The lyrics are so hysterically abysmal. I thought it was supposed to be a fucking comedy. It's not a comedy. There's a song about the chick going to talk to a doctor about a sex change.
Ugh.
And it's unintentionally hilarious. Ugh. And the funniest thing is, even the background characters who are like, oh, you didn't need an actor for this. You think to yourself, well, at least they're going to get a singer, right? Because it's meant to be a musical. Nobody can sing. They can't sing to save Christmas. It is so fucking terrible. And the chick that was in it won an Academy Award just because this ticked enough diversity boxes. And she won an Academy Award, and you're supposed to think to yourself, oh, good on you. Good on you. You're a woman of color, and you're in a film about the LGBTQ community and about the Hispanic community, and it's a musical, and it couldn't be more gay. So, like, we're going to give you the prize because you ticked all of the fucking, like, all of the boxes, literally. Like, for somebody who's been nerfed 100 ways from Sunday, you ticked all those boxes. So, like, we're going to give you the medal. I've got more respect for what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence. Sucking Harvey Weinstein's dick to win an Academy Award. I'm like, you did harder work. You did harder work. She took it in every single hole from a fat, sweaty whale of a man, and she deserved that award.
Mm-hmm. What is it? X work is still work, as the girls say.
Yeah. So, like, this is you wanna fix shit. You need to incentivize success. You need to put people back onto the whole idea of stop shaming people for winning. Stop shaming people for winning. I'm sick of this. Like, if you watch awards nowadays, like, go to a school. My friend's kids were in a football tournament, and they had a sports day where after the football there was like some athletics meet thing, and the people who came first had to wait until the very end to get their awards. Okay? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they had to wait until the very end?
Isn't that so that people watch the losers get their awards?
Exactly. Because if the winners get their awards first, nobody's going to stick around and watch the losers getting, like, patted on the back, right? So they give all the losers the medals first, and then the winners who get their medals last don't get clapped by anyone because all of the fucking useless losers, them and their families have already gone. So it's like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
You're and you're
Why
not
are you giving the losers anything?
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think the best thing to do is, first of all, yeah, take away the losers awards. You've got gold, silver, and bronze. That's it. If you couldn't make it to third, you don't fucking deserve shit.
That's it.
But like, I mean, I never kept shit that was bronze or silver. The only awards that I kept was like first place trophies or gold medals. That was it. I didn't keep the other stuff.
I barely kept my diplomas.
I just think that like you need to get people to celebrate success again. If you look at where the decline started for Britain, and also I think where the decline started from America, if you believe Yuri Bezmenov, which I do, and if you believe Skozin when he wrote about the naked communist and the 45 goals of communism to destabilize America, if you look at where all of this started and where you can mark the decline of American success and where you can mark the decline of Britain, it all started when political correctness took an insidious turn. I mean, I think it was insidious to begin with, but when it took a turn and started shaming American people or shaming British people, and made us try to feel guilty over our country's history. Oh, you were colonizers. Oh, you were oppressors. Like, fuck that noise. Fuck that noise. Nobody should apologize for being better at war than some other country. If you want to come up and cry about how we oppressed you or how we colonized you or how we stole your shit, don't fucking apologize. Just tell them it sucks that your fucking ancestors were so shit at war and didn't defend their stuff. Maybe you can do better in the next war. Fuck you. We're not going to apologize for being better than you. Like, people need to stop this self-flagellating bullshit, which isn't going to accomplish anything. All as it does is it puts you in a state of mind where you can start realizing what they want you to realize, that you should be embarrassed and you should be ashamed of success, because it's that typical liberal ideology of if you have something, it means that somebody else doesn't have something. And if you won something, it means that you took it away from someone else. So you need to kind of like, you need to just keep your head down and go about your day, right? And everybody's equal. Yeah, everybody's equally shit. Yeah, spoken like a true colonizer. Yeah, unapologetically.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, moving on. The next thing was that all the liberals and the non-religious people, the people who don't have any religious affiliation, I think spiritual, is also included in that. According to new surveys and some other studies, they're finding less people say that they have no spirituality, and Christianity has stopped falling, because it's been falling in the West consistently for a long time. It has stopped falling, and it's actually starting to get a little bit of a rise, especially at really conservative churches. So that's good. I mean, late's better than never.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit. I mean, okay, I guess it's better than nothing as long as the message that those people are pushing is actual, is good values and not some bullshit value. Because there's a lot of churches around nowadays that, I'm sorry, but the shit that they push just isn't right.
No.
I mean,
Yeah. So because of the let's call them secular churches, let's say, there is now a rise in very traditional churches. conservative traditional churches, which is good because that hasn't been happening for decades and decades. It's been just falling off a cliff this whole time.
You need to get the schools back as well. Like,
well, if Trump gets rid of the he's getting rid of the Department of Education, so that should be good. And he's saying he's not going to fund any school that does any sort of weird woke DEI stuff. He's going to take their funding away. So they're going to be too scared to do that stuff. And then the one thing I remember when my kids' school, like it had this really great, good looking, tall, white guy, been there for years, made the school very safe. He was very much locked into the kids. Like he knew all the kids' names. He knew who was on the honor roll. He knew all the parents. Any kid that had a problem, he gave them special attention. He was like the sweetest.
He sounds like a groomer, Cat.
No, not like that. He was very protective. I remember one time I was in my car in like the teacher parking lot because the kids were like, they had some event and I was waiting to pick them up. A group of like 5 kids came to my car because they know me, their parents know me, whatever. They're talking to me and he beelined right over there and he's like looking in, who is that? Who are you? Get away from that car. Do you know who this parent is? Do you know, is this okay? And they know your mom. Okay. And then he went in and say, oh, can I just check your ID? Make sure, whatever. And it was just like, he was like super locked in. And he's like, I just have to check. These are my kids. I have to, and I'm like, no, for sure. Like, awesome. Like if someone got too close to like a gate or something, he was like, hey, he'd run across the field and like bring them closer. He's just a very sweet guy. Then they switched it to some, let's say, bull dyke, whatever.
Bull dyke. It's
yes.
okay, you can say it.
I don't know if we can. Anyways, shaved head.
A fat lezo.
Yeah, it's huge. And immediately I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. What's going on? Yeah. So like, yeah, after that guy left, like the school started going down immediately. And then I have to like tell my kid, whatever they say, don't listen to them. If they tell you anything, record it, show me. We'll get you right out of there immediately. Like now I'm just like, you're just going there to hang out with your friends. Who cares what they say? I'll teach you stuff after school. Like whatever.
Well, I went to the primary school that I went to was a Roman Catholic school. And I remember that I partly remember it, but I remember when I was first getting signed up to that school that we had a meeting with the teachers and our local parish priest, because the priest had to basically sign off to say this is a Roman Catholic kid, he and his family attend our church, and they sign off on it to show that like you're not only like it's not just that you say you're Roman Catholic, but you're a practicing Roman Catholic, right? And that you've been baptized and everything. And then in the school prepped us to have our first Holy Communion, right? And I remember that we would have mass, that we would pray before food and all of that stuff. And that school is still there. And I passed it only a couple of weeks ago. And now that when I was passing that school, it was just about the time when the parents were collecting the kids. And out of all of the kids, about nearly 80% of the kids, roughly 8 out of 10 kids, were Muslim. It's like we've got Muslim faith schools in the area, but they're being put into Roman Catholic schools now. It's still a Roman Catholic school. It says on the board that it's a Roman Catholic school. But how? Like, I mean, there's this expectation of if you want to send your kids somewhere because of an expectation of what kind of education they're going to have, there's an expectation that you have. But if it's not being met, then why isn't something done about that?
The whole finding a school right now is incredibly difficult. We are having problems here. I have Steven's patients, they can afford anything. The problem is they are working wealthy. So they make millions and millions a year, but they have to work and they have the lifestyle that means both parents have to work. Nobody's going to stay, like the women, of course, they're feminists, whatever. They don't want to stay home because they feel like that makes them less or whatever, which is insane. So they're
You know
like
what it makes you
trying to
less of?
find a parent.
No, no. If you wait, how? I mean, if you're a woman and you stay at home, how does that make you less
No,
of
no,
a
no.
parent?
Oh, I meant like by going to work.
Yeah, no. The reason why feminists feel that makes them somehow less if they stay at home, the only thing it makes you less of is it makes you less of a man. There's an expectation that the man's going to go out and work.
No, but they have their man makes millions of dollars a year.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But
If
they
you're a
still don't
woman,
think.
that's the problem though, because that's what feminists want to be. Feminists want to essentially be men.
Yes.
Feminists hate men, but they want to be men.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is why all of them are unhappy, because that's the kind of cognitive dissonance that drives you mad. You look like an animal eating from a trough. You're just dipping your head down into the big bucket of food that you have. You're on mute, Cat. You
Damn
ate
it.
your microphone.
So, one in particular, she's Jewish woman. She used to be, I think like one of those traveling nurses or whatever. Now she's like a divorce lawyer, right? And instead of staying home with her twins that she had via IVF, whatever, she's like, her husband makes maybe like 5 million a year, right? That's a comfortable living, even in this place, which is very expensive. And, I'm not going to say it's not, blah, blah, blah. For what he does need a fancy car. He does need country club, whatever, all that stuff, right? But still, her like extra 2 or 3 million a year does not really change anything. It's just that she absolutely will not stay home because she hates women that are stay-at-home moms. Like, it's just like so ingrained from feminism, propaganda, all this stuff. She finds them vile. She calls them lazy. She says like they're leeches in the world, all this stuff. And it's just like crazy. I was going to have her on my podcast, but then, I did like a talk with her before I had her on. And I'm like, I don't agree with this woman at all. This is just a complete difference in opinions. And she said she was going to come on my podcast with a strict thing to push men to never have stay-at-home wives because she felt it was bad for society. And like those are the worst types of women that want to stay home with their children. Wild, wild stuff.
I guarantee you her husband would much prefer a stay-at-home wife.
Nobody knows. He didn't have the option.
Yeah, guys like that usually end up cheating then, if that's the case.
Well, from what I know, he's always traveling, so God knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, anything could, but it's just like so many women have like that ingrained, like propagandized hate of women.
Why
who
did she
put
need
their
IVF?
family first. She was like in her 40s when she got married.
Yeah, so see, like she failed as a wife in pretty much every fucking aspect.
God, come on.
No, she has. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and her thing was like, well, when these stay-at-home wives that didn't work their entire lives, when their husbands leave them when they're in their 50s and 60s, they get so upset about it and they demand all these alimonies and stuff. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, but if you
50 or
stayed your
60
fucking ass at home, your husband could have put a baby in you when you were healthy enough to fucking have one.
I don't know. I think it's like the propaganda is too deep that women even the ones that want to have a family, I guess by the time that most women get to have a family, like they usually have to lower their standards so much to pick a guy.
Oh yeah, he sounds like he lowered his standards for her.
Neither of them are very attractive, I would say.
Oh, yeah, okay. So they both settled. Well, I don't know. His account balance sounds more attractive than hers. I think.
I know, but even with his account balance, he could not get, because he was much older when he got married. He was like maybe 50, she was 40. He could not get someone who was very young. So
Oh, bullshit. If he's
so
making 5 million a
unattractive.
year, if he's making 5 million a year, he could have gotten some hot, stupid 20-something-year-old who could have
They
had
did
loads of
not
babies
want
for him.
him. They didn't want him.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit, Cat.
They wanted him, but if he said prenup, they left.
The
difference.
bullshit. I'm sorry, beggars can't be
Not
choosers.
bullshit. It's not bullshit. If a
Bullshit.
guy says, okay, I
Bullshit.
make 5 million, but you have to sign a prenup and I'll marry you, and the girl
Cat,
leaves, she left.
sorry. You could have some ugly 50-year-old dude who's got 5 million a year, and he could walk into any basic fucking bar, restaurant, whatever, find some cute little waitress and say,
Yes.
how would you like to sit at home and have babies?
Damon, you're
And if you
missing
say
the
to them
most
prenup,
important part. You're missing the most important part.
go
The
ahead,
fact is
go ahead.
He had several that agreed to marry him, but left when he insisted upon a prenup.
No, Cat. I'm sorry. You can't be
forgetting
making
that.
minimum wage. You can't be 20 years old working for tips. And if a millionaire says to you, I'll marry you right now, sit at home, have babies, but sign this prenup,
Okay,
and she'll
he looks
say,
like,
no.
listen. He looks
What
like
kind? Are you
Weinstein.
telling me that there's going to be some dumb bitch at Starbucks who's going to say, I'm out. I'm sorry. No, I'll find the next millionaire. Fuck off. How stupid are you?
It is
I mean,
what
I
it
know
is.
you work at Starbucks, but you can't be that fucking dumb. They'll be like, yeah, okay.
You also forget a lot of women think they can do better because they think in their 20s that their 20s are just for fun, that they don't even have to worry about that until they're in their 40s or late 30s.
Nah, beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can't be
But a
choosers.
26-year-old woman does not feel like a beggar.
Yeah, but you hit them with reality. I'm sorry. You're working in Starbucks. You went to university, you got yourself how many hundreds of thousands in debt, and now you're working in Starbucks. How are you gonna fucking pay that off? Are you gonna live until you're 560? You're working for tips. If a millionaire comes along, I could if I had student debt and I was working in
You would take his
Starbucks and I'm
offer.
like,
You'd be like,
I would take his offer. I would take his fucking offer. Dude, you don't even need to sign prenup. I'll just live with you until I can
also
find something better.
remember, he's a dangerous litigator. This is not like a stupid man that a woman can take advantage of.
Kat, you sold me on him already. I'm taking the ring and that's it. Like, no, these women can't fucking look. No, if women are honestly that fucking stupid,
Yes.
then I don't want to believe that you guys are that fucking far gone.
Yes, they are. Why is it hard for you to believe? You see women, you've talked to women. You think that they're thinking through their lives like that? A 26-year-old? Maybe if she came from a war-torn country with excessive trauma, she might.
No, if she came from a war-torn country, she's gonna have her head on straight. She's gonna have her head on straight. You could be like,
yes, I said if she
fuck
came from a
millions.
war-torn country, she would accept his offer because she knows what real life is. But these
Yeah.
coddled feminist women are just like, oh, well, I'm, a woman, so I'm valuable forever. I'll find 50 millionaires. They literally
Nah,
believe
you want to get some girl from a war-torn country. You don't even need to be making six figures. You just tell them, I've got a job. I've got a job and I don't have debt. And she'll be sitting at home. She'll be pregnant before you even know it. You'll be like, have we had sex yet? And she'll already show you a pregnancy test, being like, yeah, I'm ready to start the family. They know how to deal with shit. I'm sorry, but there's a problem with privileged bitches nowadays.
Well, remember, most women are being raised by single mothers. And what do single mothers preach? You know.
Nothing. They don't preach shit because they're women.
They preach get the money. Get the money. If you're going to get married, get the money. If somebody says prenup, they're not a viable option. I watch these shows that are geared towards women just to see what's going on out there. I watch
Yeah, but realistically, Kat,
it's what they're
how
being
the
trained.
fuck on earth? How the fuck on earth do women think? Here's my problem. I can understand there might be some women who are stupid enough, some that are stupid enough to think you're making 5 million a year. You're not as attractive as I'd like you to be, but I like that you're making 5 million a year. And now you've proposed, right? So now I'm thinking about it. And I'm willing to say yes. But when you say sign a prenup, I'm going to be like, no, I'm out. That's it. I'm going to wait for the next.
I forgot to mention this other thing. He's not generous.
Okay. Well, see, look, that's something stupid on his side.
Imagine you marry someone who makes $5 million a year and you're a girl, and he expects you to live as if he was making, I don't know, 80,000 a year.
Yeah, see,
right?
But this is what's stupid. This is what's stupid with some guys who, the guys with the 5-year plan of I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to be making bank and I'm going to be doing it.
Yes, the guys that make their money older and they have the trauma of women, trying to take their money or whatever, or not picking them because they didn't have any money. Then they're like, oh, if I marry you, you're not going to get anything, even though you're my wife.
Look at John Burt in the comments.
I don't get it.
We're apparently going to be those drizzle guys.
Lovely. Anyways, so yeah.
So how are we going to do it? I'll have to. We'll have to identify. John, we're going to be chest feeders. Oh no. Anyway,
what's going on?
So yeah, we're going to get some rich sugar daddy.
Yes, I believe it.
We're just going to sit at home in yoga pants and look pretty. He's going to pay for our Pilates instructor to keep us in shape.
I have some friends that are guys like from high school, and they're still waiting for like that rich woman to come and save them. And they're like, I want a rich, older woman who's made her money, or her husband's passed and he's left her lots of money. So then I can just be her little trophy, whatever.
Wait. How old are these guys, Kat? How old are these
40?
guys?
40?
Fucking hell, you idiot. What kind of 70-year-old or 60-year-old woman is going to settle for a 40-year-old? Please tell me that you told these guys. There's no way that you're going to be their toy boy. You can't be called a boy anymore. Look, you're middle-aged. You're middle-aged. You're the one that's supposed to be getting what? Sorry?
I've said that to them, but they believe that if they just go old enough, that someone will do it and that she'll leave all of her property.
Oh, calm the fuck off. I'm sorry. No way. No. This is just beyond sad.
I told you nobody wants to work.
Fucking hell. This is shit.
Mm-hmm. But
I'm sorry, but this is why we need a war. You need another war to create a generation of people that have got a bit of an understanding of reality. You need some hardship. This is the problem. Nobody's got hardship.
Everyone's insane. Everyone believes they deserve something that they don't deserve. I feel like after if you've never been offered any of that, like in your whole life, you probably don't deserve it. Either make yourself better so that you do deserve it, or just deal with it.
You need to ask these people, why the fuck is it that you don't want to work? Why? Why do you want that easy life?
Oh, because they're liberals, and liberals believe that if they work hard and they earn something, it's because they stepped on someone's face.
No, they don't.
Or
They don't. Their brain doesn't work like that. They don't. No. The minute they start thinking about work, they have a fucking panic attack or an anxiety attack because they're not fucking prepared to actually work. That's the problem. They're lazy and they're fucking weak. This is like you give them an easy childhood and they can't fucking support themselves. That's what happens when you grow up coddled. Do you ever do gardening?
Sure.
Do you ever plant you ever plant seeds in those little kind of grow trays where you have to keep them in darkness at the start so that they sprout?
I've done
Do you
it
know what?
wrong. I've attempted, yes.
Okay, so when you plant those seeds and you have to keep them in the dark for a couple of weeks so they sprout, okay? You're supposed to put them out in the light the moment you see that there's some sprouting out of the soil.
Yes, and
If
you don't, it molds.
no, it doesn't mold. What happens is it shoots up. It grows really quick, right?
Oh.
Because it's searching for light. So it sprouts and then it grows even quicker. But then if you give it light, what happens is it's very leggy. It's not strong enough because it grew too quick.
Mm.
So you're supposed to put it in the sun as soon as it sprouted so that it can actually, the stalk can grow thick and strong, right? And support itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. Like in their youth, when they're not tested, if they're constantly coddled and protected and they had an easy fucking childhood and an easy adolescence all the way through, the protected, not bullied, not challenged, nothing. They get a participation trophy, celebrated for everything. Then all of a sudden, when they go out into the real world, by the time they're fucking 21, 22 after university or whatever, they're not prepared for anything. It's going to knock them over. You tell them like, okay, look, it's time for you to go and get a job now. This is what you've been studying for. They'll be like, I was studying for a job? Really? Like, yeah, what the fuck do you think you're in university for? To learn how to protest? I don't know, what the fuck? Like, they think that adolescence is just going to last forever. And everything's just supposed to be fun. But no, now you have to fucking go and work. You have to contribute.
I think everybody thought that they would get these cushy, paper pusher type jobs in like an office and have 2-hour lunches and start at 9 a.m., leave at 5 p.m. And that doesn't exist anymore. If you are an office worker, at least here, all my friends that are office workers, they have to get there at 7 or 8 a.m. after leaving their kids, in school and paying extra to have the kids there early before school opens. And then they have to go to work, sometimes 2-hour drive to get there at a certain time. And then they have to stay until maybe 7 p.m. because they had to take their kid to school. So like they have to make up for that hour staying later. And then they put their kid in after school care, which they have to pay for. And then it takes a 2-hour drive to get home. So it's not like how it used to be where you can work a 9 to 5 and the mother was home to drop off and pick up the kid. Now it's like everybody's working. Nobody's taking care of the home anymore. Everybody's stressed. And nobody's making a livable wage because they've split one salary into 2 salaries. So now you need 2 people to make what one person was coming home with, which is just ruining society.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. 2-hour drive to work means you're not getting paid a living wage. Exactly. None of them are getting paid a living wage. Nobody I know, even very highly educated, is really making enough to live in the downtown area because it's so expensive. So they have to live 2 hours away.
This is another thing that I would do. I don't know how it is out where you live, right? But definitely in central London, this is the case. I would say that any city, this is what I'll do if I was Prime Minister of the UK right now. You know how we've got like government support, we've got what's called universal credit, and we've also got council housing. So if you can't afford a home, and if you're not working, if you're on benefits, whatever, you can get a council house where like you put your name on a list and the council will find a home for you and you get like basically just a house to live in that the taxpayer pays for you to sit around and do fucking nothing apart from make babies. So the first thing that I'll do is I would say any working capitals, any kind of like cities where you like, especially London, which was once upon a time the working capital of the world, right? But any major cities in the city center area where you have like all of the kind of business hub, all of the places where people want to commute to work, right?
Mm.
Any council houses within like a 60-mile radius, no asylum seekers, no kinds of refugees whatsoever, and no unemployed people are going to be housed in any of those council houses. Every single fucking property there is going to be for the people who work in that city. If you don't have a job and if you're not working, then you get the fuck out. Unemployed people, refugees, asylum seekers, no asylum seeker needs to come halfway across the world and say, I want to live in the working capital of the fucking of that fucking city in that particular country. No, go out and live in the sticks somewhere.
How about just make it illegal to have government housing near where all the jobs are? I mean, but that would require laws.
That's the opposite of socialist. I'm sorry. There's no way that sounds socialist. You're not working, you're not contributing. So then why do you need to be in the working capital? That's just common sense. I'm all for the government. If the government wants to provide houses like that, or if they seize a property and it's like, look, council houses should be used as affordable housing for people who just got into the job market. You can give them like what they used to do for some people. You have 5 years until you can afford your own house. In 5 years, you're on affordable housing that you can rent, affordable rent, and then you buy your own property.
I mean, I know that here.
100%. Yeah, shut the faucet off to immigrants also. That's 100% what I would do. I would pass the bill straight. I would say straight away, this is the law. There you go. Like, we're not going to waste money on deporting people. The ones that are already here, we're going to put them to work. And if they don't want to work, they can live on the streets. It's the UK, where it's very cold here. They'll die off within a year. Don't worry about it. So the ones that are already here, I would give them a job. The moment I would be there at the coast when they're arriving on their little dinghies, I'd give them guns and I'd say, if you want to stay here, stand here. Any other dinghies that you see, shoot them when they're on the way, when they're coming. You're our border patrol. If any of them come in and we find out that you let them through, off you go. You're going to be out on the streets. But you can't let more people in. It's already a bursting point.
I like the idea of offer them like a free flight out or back to where they came from. And if they don't take it, they have to work. Or they get put in like some sort of like, I don't know.
Camp.
Let's say that. A camp where you don't get any luxury living. You live in this little campsite. You cannot leave. And that's it. Make a little village there, farm for yourself, whatever. But like away from society. Yes or yes?
Yeah.
See? Isn't that very dictator-like though?
You could be. I've got no problems being a dictator when it comes to people coming into your country illegally. Fuck that. You're a lawbreaker. I mean, if there was any greater sign that America is unfortunately broken, it's the fact that you've got half of your leaders or wannabe leaders not understanding that the whole problem with illegal immigrants is that they are illegal. I don't know if at this point they're playing dumb anymore, or if they've genuinely been saying it so long that they genuinely are retarded and
Well,
don't understand that they've broken the law. Because I heard another speech the other day from, it was AOC and Ilhan Omar, and I think it was Amy Klobuchar, where they were saying something like, it's hateful and it's dangerous to be talking about migrants in this way. When they were talking specifically about ones who were entering illegally, when they were saying these people, there's no statistics to show that they've broken the law. It's like, no, they came in illegally. They're like,
that's enough.
The fact that they're in America shows that they are lawbreakers. And these people, I genuinely don't realize if they are playing dumb when they're saying they're not breaking laws, they're not criminals. It's like they're criminals simply by being in America and entering unlawfully. That they're already a criminal. When they crossed, they became criminals. And these people are acting like they don't understand that. And it's been going on for so long that I think they genuinely don't understand it anymore. I think they've really made themselves that willingly stupid. Send them to Australia. Yeah, it's a penal colony.
There you go. So
that's what we did with our criminals.
So let me just go through the rest of like the news things really quickly, and then we'll get into our main topic because we spent a lot of time on those, but that was good. So what do you mean no? All right. Let's see. Oh, so far Doge layoffs have slashed 105 billion, I mean. So that's pretty good. And let's see. Oh, there is very low flu pokey rates now. So people are saying it's tanked 45% this year. And we're thinking that maybe this is because people are just sick and tired of big pharma and they just don't trust anything. So that's good. Moving on. Let's see. What else? That's boring. Okay. Let's get to the main topic. Me Too movement. Psyop to remove innocent until proven guilty. So this is my thesis. Okay. Let's hear me out first, and then you could tell me why I'm wrong. That's fine. So I think it was, while it was framed as a fight against the abused or the victims or whatever, it functioned as a psychological operation, psyop thing, to erode the presumption of innocence in favor of guilt by association or guilt without being proven innocent. So, like, what is a psyop? Would be whenever there's a very coordinated effort to influence perception and behaviors. So while innocent until proven guilty was a legal bedrock of this country, since that happened, it flipped it where people just like want to cancel you, want to tell you you're not allowed to be friends with so-and-so because they said this, basically punishing freedom of speech, removing innocence until proven guilty, removing all of these things, which seems very psyop to me. And also there's like conditioning society to believe accusers without any evidence, reversing the burden of proof on the accused. What do you think?
Don't be upset with me.
Oh, God.
But the reason why I disagree with that there is that the whole reason why the Me Too movement worked so well was because the perceived guilt as soon as an accusation is made was already in effect. Before the Me Too movement came out, any man's credibility and reputation was pretty much instantly destroyed the minute a woman made an accusation against him. The whole Me Too movement, the whole believe all women thing was only used as a frame of attack within Hollywood. It was only as a way of getting rid of powerful people in Hollywood that the industry didn't really want anymore in place. And to create more positions of lower level power, right? Because look at what you've got now. You've got these intimacy coordinators. You've got, and the intimacy coordinators, according to all early accounts, seem to be the most disgusting, like perverts imaginable. So all of the real degen freaks in Hollywood took those positions of power in an area where they can exploit it to their own sick fucking needs. So look at believe in yourself just touched on what you and I spoke about before, Kat. This is what I think it is. Remember I told you last time. I do think that it's and if you look at elsewhere, what's been going on in schools, what's been going on in colleges, at the same time as we had the Me Too movement, you had this attack on young men in schools and colleges with regards to claims of there being grape culture in campuses. So young men and masculinity as a whole in general was under attack. You had the accusations of grape culture on campus. You had a massive attack on anything masculine being called toxic masculinity. And then you have the believe all women hashtag. And all this is to basically create a big divide between the sexes and to try and elevate the power of women and crush down masculinity in men. To the point where you now have generations of men who don't know how to talk to women, who are afraid to approach women, who think that anytime they make a compliment to a woman, they're going to get called some kind of harasser or get accused of something just because they might look at a woman the wrong way. So I do think that this is to do with the goal that we know that they've got of mass depopulation. We know about the whole thing of them wanting to reduce the global population to 1 billion. We've been hearing that for fucking decades. So I think this is just another way to do that. Yeah. Oh, the new next. His comment. Imagine psychotherapist. Psycho the greatest.
Okay. Let's chill with that word.
No, but it is. If you hyphenate it, it'll be.
Let's not say that.
So I said grapist.
Okay, oh my Jesus. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so it did seem to me like it was very much to get rid of guilty until proven innocent to me.
But that already.
But not just, but also,
you
but
mean
not
get rid
just
of innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
But that already existed. You didn't need the Me Too movement.
Not to the degree. And I feel like also the media used it to amplify cases like these allegations to take away from other important things that were happening that we should have been focusing on, right? So they would shift the public perception before even a trial would go on to say, well, I know that the trial is about this and this because of that, but this person who's accusing them was also accused by this person of, whatever. So then let's put all the stories on how they're a bad person to shift perception of this person to like they're a predator, blah, 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 even with no proof. And that's what the media was doing to like make everybody like look over here instead of where they needed to look. And then you had social media taking people off who were like not going along with what they were saying. Any dissenters were called misogynist or fake, whatever, or liars or con artists or scammers or whatever, right? to try to get them off the internet. And then they would say, oh, because you're these things, now we can pull you from the internet. We can like scrub you. So then you can't talk anymore. Basically removing your freedom of speech and saying private companies, all that stuff. So I feel like it's all connected to be able to just, whenever somebody says something they don't like, they just put an accusation, say that they're fake news, say that they're anti this or anti whatever. So then they can remove them and remove dissent. And then by that way, by removing enough people, they control other people's language. Because now you know what you can't speak about, even though we have, because of this, come up with new terminology to get around it. This is like the beginning. This is the first stage, the first wave of this controlling everything. And look, they did it against Amber Heard, which was a girl, which was interesting. So like at first it's like believe all women. And then it's like, but let's also make sure we can turn it against women too. Right.
Yeah, but no,
they want to go after
because
everyone.
no, that was only because they didn't account on the public siding with Johnny.
No, but the thing about that, they didn't have to post anything. You know, if they don't want you to see it, you don't see it. It was televised everywhere. They wanted you to see that a woman is evil and a woman can do it too. They wanted to be able to attack men and women equally. I don't
think that was planned. I think that they were hoping that they could crush, because look, the industry was against Johnny Depp. Okay, the Disney wanted him gone. Warner Brothers wanted him gone. Disney wanted him gone. They wanted him out, and they tried to get people to get behind Amber Heard so that they could oust Johnny Depp, right? Because they were like, he's now persona non grata. He's a bit too hard to work with at this stage in his career. And we want an excuse to get rid of him where the fans are going to be on our side thinking that we did the right thing by getting rid of him. So they tried to engineer his exit that way. Now, it backfired. And because don't forget, Hollywood is so full of themselves that they think that they can create the narrative and have everybody run by it. And it isn't working anymore. Social media destroyed Hollywood. The whole reason why Hollywood was so successful and why they could lead and why they could influence was because we didn't know who they were. Star power depends on mystique. The moment every star has a social media account and is posting about every fucking thing they do, every plate of food that they eat, every time they take a shit, we don't need to know you that well. The only reason why you were considered stars once upon a time is because we couldn't relate to you as human beings. Mm-hmm. And now everybody thinks we need to be able to relate. We need to be able to relate. No, we don't. That's what makes a star a star. That's what makes a hero a hero. The fact that we don't know them, they seem larger than life. They seem unreal. They seem mythical. The moment you know who they are in real life, especially the moment you know about their fucking politics and their ideology, we lose interest in them. They become just like we are, and they might become like those people we don't like. And then we don't want to know you anymore. Hollywood died because we got to know it. We got to know the skeletons in its closet, and we switched
I think it was a lot. It was also like the cult stuff coming out.
Yeah, but that's only because we got to know them.
Well, yeah.
Think about
what they are.
Think about the only people that you could come close to calling stars. Who do you think a star is in Hollywood? What kind of stars are still out there? The only ones that people
Brad Pitt,
still
Angelina Jolie.
Well, not really. Angelina Jolie's like embarrassed herself so fucking many times right now. But the only ones that are really loved and respected are the ones that we don't really know. Keanu Reeves keeps himself to himself. He's a very private person. Not many people know much about him. And he was very well respected. Gene Hackman kept himself to himself. Like throughout most of the only thing we knew about him was that he was an ex-Marine. And beyond that, for the past 45 years, he didn't give a single fucking interview to anyone. for 45 years. Now, he retired about 20 years ago, but that means that still for a good 25 years of his career, he never gave a single interview. And when he retired, he didn't give an interview. The moment you know who they are, you lose interest. And think about that. That's human nature in general. We're raised to believe like about like the virtues of honesty and things like that. And we think like when you get married or when you're in a relationship, you know, be honest with your partner. Yeah, but there's some things that you should. Don't be too honest. Don't be open about everything. Everybody has secrets. If you open up to your partner 100% and tell them everything about you, they're not going to want to be with you. There is such a thing as knowing too much. So there's only one thing that killed Hollywood, and I guarantee you, I'm 100%. Social media was it. We don't want to know who the fuck you are. We want to see you playing the characters that we love, or whoever you're supposed to be on screen. You disappear into your role. There's a reason why the greatest actors are the ones that disappear into their role completely.
Yes. Do you know what else that reminds me of? Like a therapist was saying that this is what beautiful women, like extremely gorgeous, we're talking about 9s and 10s, this is what they face because people project what they think of them, like their idea of them on them. And as soon as they get to know them, they see them fart, they see them say something stupid or do something, whatever, they immediately lose the attraction for them. Because when we don't know someone and we think that they're like wonderful, magical creatures, we put them on this fake pedestal, and that we put all these characteristics that we idealize onto this person. And then as soon as they are not those things, it shatters immediately. And that's why very beautiful people, very famous people, people who are very well respected, but not very known intimately, like we don't know their personal dealings and all their personal beliefs and whatever, like we put stuff on them. And that's kind of what they get their power on, being kind of a blank slate, except for the one thing that we like to watch them for.
Well, I think, I can't remember, there was a phrase about Marilyn Monroe where like they said that like one of the tragedies in her life was that people obviously who fucked her, right? She got around, let's be honest. Was they said that the problem is that men go to bed with Marilyn, but they wake up with Norma Jean.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she was suicidal, right? Mm-hmm. So like that's the thing. Like that star power, like people think that you're this star. People think that's who you are. And then, yeah, they disillusioned with the reality. There's a reason why they say never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
But I mean, going back to the earlier point that we had though, I mean, mm-hmm. I do think that what the actual purpose of the Me Too movement was, and Believe All Women and all that kind of stuff, if you want to figure out if something is a conspiracy theory, if there is like a deeper reason for why it happened, you just need to look most of the time at what it was most effective in accomplishing. And if you look at what that accomplished more than anything else, was a division between the sexes. Mm-hmm. It polarized men against women and women against men. It made men afraid of this power that women have to destroy your life with a simple accusation. And it made women fearful of men, that there were all these toxically masculine SA people, right? Like, you had this not just in Hollywood, but you had it everywhere. You had it in the workplace. You had it on campus. One of my friends whose son goes to college in America was saying how like all of the guys are just partying with guys. And he was saying like when I was out in America, one of my friends went to Brown and we had like a lot of parties at Brown. And every time that like every Saturday it was about like, oh, we need to make sure that there's going to be girls there. Like how many girls are showing up? Like, if now they're like, no, we don't want girls there. We're like, what the fuck? Like,
Wait,
why would
where is
you?
this
Why
happening?
would it, well, I don't want to say where he goes, but in his college, and like they're 19, 20. They're
Ugh.
19, 20 years old, and there's like about 35 guys, and they're just like fucking playing beer pong and whatever, chilling out, listening to music, smoking weed. But they don't want girls there. They don't want the trouble. They're like, it's going to be fucking hassle. Anyone makes an accusation, anyone grasses us up, anyone mentions how much we're drinking or that like we've got drugs or whatever, like anyone does something stupid and they're going to be like, he touched me, he did this. They don't want to deal with that shit. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I don't know if it's like that and that's what's going to happen, but it's what the guys are afraid of. They're afraid that that's what the girls might do. And they're still talking about this grape culture on campus, still today, like 10 years after it was all debunked. But I think that if you look at what happened, it did polarize men against women. It did polarize women against men. And I think that therefore it's pretty safe to assume that if it was orchestrated, it was orchestrated for that purpose, to help with the idea of the depopulation. Population numbers are too high. They're too high. I mean, I like Elon Musk, and I know that Elon Musk is going on about how we're not meeting our targets. The population numbers are dwindling. We're not repopulating as much as we should be. I know it's going to have, if we do depopulate, I know it's going to have a massive problem with the economy, with people's pensions not being supported with future payments. But at the same time, our population numbers are dangerously high. Like resource wise, our population numbers are high. And you can't sustain the kind of growth that's going on. If the trajectory carries on as it has been in recent decades, then like I think by 2080 they said that we're going to be at a critical point. But if you smoking spaceman, resource wise mainly, I'm not saying with regards to things like fossil fuels or stuff like that, but I'm talking like we're not building fast enough to support the population numbers that we have. We're not building infrastructure stuff quick enough. If we were building like we were 50 years ago, it would be a different story, but we're not. And if we were building the way we were 50 years ago, it would also solve the job crisis as well. Like if we had more infrastructure that needed to be supported as well, it would be fine. But we haven't been doing that. Yeah, like I said, consumption issues. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally just infrastructure, housing, and other utility stuff like that. If we were expanding that whilst the population was being expanded, then it would have been fine. But we haven't been doing that. We haven't been doing it for a long time. For about 60 to 100 years, it's been kind of slowing down in most part of the world, in most places in the world. But yeah, I think that, if you look at, I think you spoke about it before, Kat, the Georgia Guidestones.
Yes. Conspiracy.
Right. So do you remember when it said what humanity had to be maintained under 500 million?
Yes.
Right. So some people are saying that, right. Okay. So have you heard of I think it was called the Committee of 300?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So do you remember what population numbers they were talking about?
No. But I remember reading it, but I forgot.
So it matches up to the Georgia Guidestones, basically, because they said that Asians had to have a population. And when they mentioned Asians, they were talking about Japanese and Chinese, actually. So the Committee of the 300 was saying that they needed to maintain Chinese and Asian population of 500 million. And then the West was going to be the other 500 million. And they wanted a global population of 1 billion. And the reason why they wanted so much of a population to be Chinese and Japanese,
because they're easier to control.
easier to control. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Broken.
So like, you know that, do you remember a lot of people were saying that Klaus Schwab made this claim about how they were going to wipe out the useless eaters?
Yes, yes.
And it turns out, you know, it wasn't Klaus Schwab who said that.
Who?
Klaus Schwab, somebody cited a quote. They started putting it across. It was put on like TikTok and Twitter and Facebook. A quote where they said that they were going to wipe out the 4 billion useless eaters and that they're going to leave a population of around about 1 billion. Or it was going to be around like initially 3 billion that's going to gradually dwindle down to 1 billion that they could control. And people attributed the quote to Klaus Schwab, but it wasn't. It was John Coleman, and it was in his book, which was about the Committee of 300, called what is that book called?
Something?
No, The Conspirators' Hierarchy.
Oh.
So, and he wrote that book, I think it was in the early 90s. Read it. It's really good. It's really interesting. It's called The Conspirators' Hierarchy, and then something like the Committee of 300. Yeah, it's called this Conspirators' Hierarchy, Committee of 300.
Has it been edited? Do you have to like find an old copy to get the good stuff?
No, I think you can get it on Kindle. I think you can get pretty much the complete thing on Kindle. I don't think they edited it out.
Because there's a lot of books like that now they've edited all the good stuff.
No, well, it basically talks about the committee, who and the power that they wield, like, you know, allegedly, because you know who they were supposed to have been. The Committee of 300.
Who were they supposed to have been?
Originally, it was founded by British aristocracy in the 1700s. I think early 1700s. And basically, it was like a council kind of that operated, and it was involved with everything like politics, global banking, media, the military, basically every which way to control and manipulate society. They were involved in it. They controlled it all. And the reason why they did it was for basically kind of like it was basically to coordinate global efforts in a kind of more centralized way. But people started speaking about it long before John did. I think Walter Rathenau, I think, first mentioned the Committee of 300, and he was the one who gave the number, where he said it was 300 men who all worked together to guide the destiny of the world, basically. And each time one of them died off or retired, they would have started to groom from the minute they took that position. They would have to groom a replacement. So if anything happened, if they were assassinated or if they just happened to die, the replacement was ready to take the reins and kind of move forward with them, right? So each one of them had a successor from the moment they were put in that position. So, I mean, but there was all kind of all of the rumors that you have of like these people, these elites that control the destiny of the world, right? The Rothschilds, right? The hidden hand, all of that came from this idea of the 300, the Committee of 300.
Yeah.
But I mean, that book by John Coleman, The Conspirators' Hierarchy, spoke about this, and it is about having a population of 1 billion. And I think in that book, The Conspirators Hierarchy, I think if I remember correctly, that's the book which kind of mentions why it's that population number, why it works that way, that you have a population of 1 billion.
Do you remember why?
Well, systems of control, kind of like you don't want it growing too out of balance on what you can or what you will or won't be able to control otherwise. Like empires grow too large, they collapse, right?
Yeah.
You can't just have something growing out of control. There has to be a harvest, right?
Did you hear about the conspiracy theories on Selma Hayek eating people and stuff?
Oh no, but she could eat me.
I was going to say that.
No, stop.
Yes. Yes. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Damon.
Oh my god.
Speaking of eating,
Are you full?
the girl I told you about, Kat, earlier,
Yes, go on.
took her to a really, really nice, I don't want to say the name, but a very, very, very nice steakhouse. Like really good.
You don't want to promote them. They're just too good.
What are you talking
well,
about? The steak?
I'll say it. If you live in Britain, Gaucho Grill in Hampstead. Absolutely amazing. Argentinian steaks. Really good.
Oh, we can't go to Britain. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't because did you hear about that thing? Like if you say stuff
You
in
get arrested.
America,
Yeah.
So like we can never go to Britain again.
But how good? I can't remember the last time I took a girl to a steakhouse. They're like, no, don't go. This girl was up. She was like, wow, yeah, she's a meat eater in more ways than one, if you know what I mean. So like, she's awesome.
First time?
Huh?
Nothing. Come on.
What you mean first time we went out? Yeah, but I reciprocated. So
wait, was this the first date?
Kat told me to wait 6 fucking weeks, Steve.
Yes. And did you date during those 6 weeks?
It only counts if you see them.
We went out, but like I was like, I didn't want to go out too much with her because I'll be thinking she's going to think that I'm a fucking freak. Why am I waiting 6 weeks? But Kat was like, no, wait, you need to build up the time. I was like, what the fuck am I building up other than a massive load? And
it was a massive load.
Exactly. Steve, I'm usually, despite how I speak, I'm usually very kind of controlled, compassionate, nice. I've got a measure of self-control.
A measure.
But a measure, yes. I'm not, despite how I speak, I'm not a freak. But what the fuck happened today was it was
monumental.
I don't know how to say it, Steve. I really don't.
Okay, it was mental.
She was drenched.
No, it was pornographic beyond words.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. I actually felt some kind of shame afterwards. I was embarrassed of myself. I was like, what the fuck did I do?
Oh no.
And what was she thinking? What the fuck did he do to me?
Yeah.
Is this normal?
I felt bad for her afterwards. I really
Is she going to walk tomorrow?
See, I knew that I had to control myself. I said to Steve, I said to Kat, I said, I'm in physical pain right now. I'm in physical pain. I can't do that again. I can't be like 6 weeks of nothing.
Oh,
and then just
I thought you got some sort of STD from her, the Persians,
No.
They do. It's really bad.
Steve, if you think
silence.
If you think, Steve, that blue balls is bad, when the blue balls get emptied finally, it's even worse. It's even worse. It's like I literally
say 6
feel
weeks for you.
what?
I didn't say 6 weeks for you.
You did.
He was doing seminal retention.
No. I didn't tell
because you told us.
I didn't say. I said don't get to know her for at least 6 weeks before.
The
you
last
bang her.
2 times, Steve.
did
The
say
last 2
don't-
times. The last 2 times that I went out with this chick, she was trying to, like, it was so obvious that she was trying to get me back to her place.
Oh God.
Because it was like the 6th or the 7th time that we went out, and I'm like thinking to myself, Kat better have a point here, because I'm beginning to think that she's going to reckon I'm her gay best friend, and I'm just always like, okay, take care, bye, you know. Like, and I'm walking her home because it's the gentlemanly
But
thing to do.
chicks love that. First of all, they love a guy who has so much self-control they don't know where they stand.
Yeah,
Then
I
it's
think I
bad.
kind of ruined that image today.
No, you didn't.
Were you quick? What is going on here?
No, I wasn't quick. That's why it's fucking
Okay,
painful,
whoa,
because
wait.
I was trying to hold back for hours.
Oh wait.
But the stuff that I was doing was in.
To
She
yourself?
was nearly upside down, pinned up against the wall at one point, and it was it's I don't want to be unnecessarily graphic, but
You already
it
have
was
been.
It's a little late for
it
that.
Late
was
for that.
it was yeah, like, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was like, finally, like, okay, cool. I don't know if it was exactly 6 weeks, but it's fucking close enough. Like, and yeah, I once it was done, I was just like, kind of, okay, I kind of think I know why you said to wait, because I did get to know her pretty well.
Yeah.
Now she's a human.
I don't know if that's a good thing, though. Not that she's human, but that I know her well.
Wait.
Because now I'm kind of like,
Oh
wait.
God.
Is it because you now want to break up with her because you found out things that you didn't know before?
well, I'm not with her, Steve.
No, you're with her.
We never said.
No,
We
you're with
went
her.
out a few. Huh?
You're with her.
No. She's at home. Like,
No. I'm saying you're in a relationship with her now.
why? Just because we had sex?
Because you've been dating and now you had sex. So
I don't know
she's
if I'd have called these
expecting-
dates, Steve. We went out a few times.
It's more so. Okay, in her mind, you are together.
Dating.
Whether she says it or not, you're dating. And I don't know how else to break this to you, but she might actually like you more.
Mm-hmm.
And she might be viewing you as, a potential partner for a very, very, very long time.
Sorry, brah.
What I would do if I were you, I would continue to date
Steve,
her.
why are you saying these things?
Because this is what you wanted. You told us, and this is what we're giving you.
I didn't say that.
The
When
prenup.
did I say that?
Well, prenups might be in the plan. I mean, I don't know what your trust. No, that's probably your trust. Probably if you have a trust. I don't know if you have a trust. I'm just assuming this. Yeah, prenup if you want to do that. But if the both of you are making about the same, there's no point in a prenup. I wouldn't even bring that up if you don't have anything that she could potentially get if you take. I don't know what.
Whatever you've made before the marriage is yours. So
right. Yeah. So if you're like, yeah, I wouldn't even bother with the prenup. You'll just piss her off. Persians, they can get pissed off easily.
Yeah.
Or she'll
I don't want to
laugh in
piss
your
anyone off
face
who
if you
looks
say
like
it.
they might. Yeah. Yeah, like she's. I mean, it was a good time tonight. I don't know if I'm thinking about prenups and that kind of shit.
Hey, no, we're not saying you should think about that. We're saying that you should continue to date her, continue to service her, and
She's petite, but she can take shit. Seriously.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
She can. I'm gonna say it, Kat. I smashed the love of Jesus out of her. It wasn't even
Why
funny.
not enter?
I was it
Because
was
she had
so
the love
bad.
of Muhammad before. Now it's the
Oh
love
my
of
God.
Jesus is gone.
Wait.
Oh, no.
What kind of Persian is this? What
Wait,
religion?
yeah. Is it?
That's important.
She drinks alcohol, so whatever.
Oh, okay, good. So then it could be
So a regular Persian. They're all alcoholics. So you know,
Zoroastrian or
Persians are severe alcoholics.
except for you.
Nah, she's not alcoholic, but she drinks.
Give it
so.
some time. Wait
No.
till meet the family.
But
They'll
Kat,
all be drunk.
You're
She was like,
Persian,
"Oh,
you're
man,
not
she-
at all.
Yes, but I'm not typical Persian. I come from high class Persians. The peasants would be alcoholics.
Every
Oh.
Persian says that they're high class."
No, she is. Yeah, she does come from like highest of high.
I'm kidding.
Class.
We had some high class that also were alcoholics. Let's be real.
Which ones? Both of
The
them?
George's side.
Oh, George. Oh, yeah, George. Oh,
Alcoholic.
jeez, yeah, he's
Mhm.
Yep.
See, my
about
dad's side
that.
is just rare. They were just like too good to do that.
Well, but they came from philosopher, the great philosopher. What is?
Well, sure,
100
whatever.
years
Anyways,
ago?
let's move on. We're not going to talk about personal stuff,
Yeah.
except for Damon's
Except for
next.
Damon. So Damon, did you check to be sure there wasn't any lesions or?
Oh my God,
No.
what are you talking about?
No, I'm serious. This is a public service announcement. I would like everyone to know that they should, before having sex with someone initially, to check if there are any STIs or STDs currently going on with their partner.
Oh my God.
Did you do that?
She,
Damon?
Of course he didn't do that.
she looked all right. And
Yeah,
I
that's
was
the
like,
ones that usually have the most, by the way.
No.
Yes, it is.
That's why I like going down on them first, because you can get a good look
Exactly.
In
close
the
up.
light or in the
go.
dark? In the light or in the
Yeah,
dark?
that's the question.
There was enough light. I've got good
No,
night vision.
So you brought a candle close by.
I know I got good night vision. We started off during the daytime as well, so there was enough light coming through the curtains. So
Okay.
yeah.
So that's her curtains or the window.
Oh, she's completely bald down there.
Oh, that's good. Nice.
It's not good.
Yeah.
For the
It is good.
STI part, but
I don't give a fuck. I'd rather have no stubble. If you're going
Right.
down on a girl, your tongue gets worn out pretty fucking easy if there's stubble there.
Yeah, and then you got like.
okay, let's not talk.
especially-
No.
Okay.
You
Relax.
get as a guy, you can get razor
No.
burn.
Or as. Yes, you can.
Good God.
Which one?
Let's hope.
Okay, so
Oh my God.
where are we going from here? Well, let's see.
Innie or outie? What is this?
Any or oh yeah.
No,
we're
no.
not gonna,
No.
The windows to the wall.
Nice.
Are there drapes?
You guys.
You know, she might watch this later. Are you gonna bring her on at any point? Are we gonna hear her voice?
Yeah.
No, I might.
You can't keep secrets.
No, I don't want her to know about
You
this. Fuck
could.
no. She
He's
thinks I'm
he's
well behaved.
ashamed.
Well,
Wow, he's ashamed
at
of
some
us.
point, she's gonna need to know your degeneracy
hmm
of going
Mhm.
on.
I
the
think
internet.
after today, she probably knows.
Oh gosh.
No, but there's a completely different when you spill all to the 8
I've
people.
done
Well, remember
that.
he's basically anonymous. It doesn't really count. I think it's fine.
She does seem up for stuff that I would not have thought she was up for. So I might push it a bit further next time.
Huh?
But
How
yeah.
can you push further?
I don't know
You
what
had
kind
her
of weird.
upside down, pinned
Oh.
against the wall. You were
Oh,
doing the
Steve. I've got a good imagination, man. I've done shit that's probably like war crime level stuff, like in the bedroom.
I feel like there's not that much stuff that you need to be doing.
No. I have an idea.
Oh,
You can
God.
cocaine board her.
No, stop. We're not
And
doing any sort
Snowboard. That's
Yeah,
what we called it.
snowboard, right? Snowboarding. And I think once she can't feel her face, you could do anything you want.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Cat's being so boring. Nobody likes you, Cat.
That's okay.
Husband.
Aw, Steve being a good husband.
That's right. I stick up for her in more ways than one.
Oh, yeah. So, talking about, well, I don't know if, is there anything else you were going to say, Kat? Or
About what?
He's still daydreaming about what happened.
Have we moved on? Do we want a new topic? What's
well,
going
I was going to say, Kat sent me something a couple of days ago.
Oh, which?
And I'm like, we've spoken about this on your show already. A girl who I was in uni with did this shit.
Oh my God. I don't think that's appropriate.
We've spoken about this shit before, Kat.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
So I want to ask
No
this
children.
because okay. So she sent me a story about a chick who lived in, where was it? Was it Michigan?
It doesn't matter where she lived. It's not part of the story.
Well, it does matter. It's
Okay.
important because she lived in a state in America,
Mhm.
right? A particular state. I want to say Michigan. I can't remember.
Okay.
But can you pull up the story because you're the one who sent it to me?
Let me find it.
I have a feeling
Because I just had a simple thought just to ask myself, how stupid is this girl? Because I thought to myself
There you go.
that I thought that I knew something about the legal system in America. And I just wanted to double check and I was correct. So just bring up the story first, see if you can find out where she lived.
Okay, hold on. I didn't send you a story. The picture that I sent you of the chick.
Yeah, I thought you sent me a oh,
there
maybe
was no article with it. It was literally just.
Okay.
But I feel like that's enough.
Okay, so I checked the story on her. I found out her name, and I found out where she was living. I want to say Michigan, but so basically, she released some videos onto the web, and I think she even put it up on her own TikTok account or Instagram. I can't remember, but it was her name, her face, not hiding her face. And she put up multiple videos of her engaging in sexual acts with her own dog.
Oh, beautiful. Do I share
And
it?
then when she got arrested for it, when she got arrested for it, apparently she claimed that she was forced to do it by someone. But the original posts were basically saying like that she was happy to do it, proud of it, and nobody was recording it. She was in a room where there was nobody else around, apparently, and it was just like a fixed camera recording. So she set it up and she filmed it. But okay, maybe somebody could have like said that they were gonna, I don't know, beat her up or do whatever if she doesn't do it. So she just made the video. I don't know. But anyway, when they investigated, they found out it was bullshit. She just did it. It was her pet. And then what the story came up with was that she'd apparently also been arrested before that for doing the same thing. So this is the second arrest that she's got. So,
Well,
okay. Thank you for that comment. So, Spaceman, thank you for that comment, because the first thing that I did, right? The first thing that I did was, after reading the story, there was two things that made me think, oh, fuck this shit, right? The first thing was that it's still, bestiality is still legal in, I think it was West Virginia. Because I Googled it. I said, is it legal anywhere in America? And I think it said West Virginia, it's still legal. So if she got arrested one time for doing that, any smart girl, any smart girl who's like, I'm not giving this shit up, because she apparently made loads of videos, right? Yeah. If it's like, this is what you want to do and this is what you love doing, move to a place where it's fucking legal. But she didn't. She just decided to like stay where it's illegal and carry on doing it. The other thing that pissed me off was fair enough. This is obviously disgusting. This is obviously disgusting, right? Now, the thing that pisses me off, though, is when I hear people say shit that is so obviously bullshit. Because I think the guy who was, I think, the lead investigator on this story, right? The guy who works in law enforcement who got handed this case, right? He was talking to the press, and he was like, he was doing this kind of like precious offended sensibilities thing of being like, in all my years of police work, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, really? Really? That's the sickest thing you've seen? You haven't seen any violent murders? You haven't seen any kind of like child grooming shit going on? No pedo shit? This is the sickest thing you've seen? Really? Because the minute I searched her name, videos came up of it. Right? Obviously, videos, proper videos that you could click on if you wanted. I didn't see them, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. She was done for like I think they brought in these people from, I forget what it is, like it's something like animal welfare or whatever. Like there's like a legal side about protecting the safety of animals, and she goes like abuse of animals. Like, I'm sorry, man, but from the picture that I saw, the dog was doing all the work, right? You're not abusing it. Why do we do this shit of projecting human emotions and human thoughts onto fucking animals? It's a fucking animal. It's built to fuck. I go to the park. I saw a dog trying to fuck a fox, right? So that's interspecies shit right there. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They'll fuck anything. I went to my friend's house, right? He's got a stuffed bear in his bedroom from when he was a kid. He had like a big, one of those giant bears that's in the corner of his bedroom. When I was a kid, I went to his house and we saw when we walked into his room, his dog is fucking the shit out of a stuffed bear.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you were going in a different direction. Okay.
They don't need to be told to do shit. I went to my friend's house. He had an older sister. She was putting stuff in the laundry, right? She was bent over when she was sticking it in the washing machine, and a dog runs over and tries to start humping her.
Oh, okay.
So who's really abusing who here? Because this chick just needs to bend over, and a dog's going to do all the shit that is born to do. It'll just fuck. That's what dogs do. So like, for this guy to say it's the sickest thing, like you couldn't have been doing policing very long if the stuff that you need trauma counseling for is watching a girl who, at least she ain't fat, she's got a good body, right? But a dog just does what a dog fucking does. It humps shit and it's on top. That's the sickest thing you've seen? Really? You no murders investigated, no family chopped up in the living room, no like kid in a microwave or something. The sickest thing you've seen is a dog fucking chick. It's like, I'm sorry, but I just don't understand that, man. You've got a state in America where it's legal, and I'm pretty sure that in all states in America, murder's illegal. And you're going to tell me that the worst thing you've dealt with was this case. Like, I just don't fucking understand that. I'm sorry. This bullshit pole clutching of a police officer saying, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen.
So I take it you're not very offended by this.
Okay, Kat, I'm glad you asked me that, because now this was the setup. This is the setup. Now here's the payoff right now. Steve.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I take you to a room, and in that room, there's 2 beds.
Oh, God.
Okay.
He's not near a dog.
And we hold a gun to your head.
Yeah.
And we say that if you don't do this, I'm not trying to be mean. The only reason I'm saying that is that you know that there's no out of I'll swallow the bullet. I'll first kill Kat, and then we'll kill you if you don't do this. Now, in one bed, there is a female dog. In the other bed, there is a human male.
A male dog.
No, there's a human male. Now, you either have to fuck the dude or you fuck the female dog.
Pull the trigger.
So you'd let them kill
See,
me.
you can't
That's
pull the
fine.
trigger.
Like,
You can't pull the trigger. His cat goes first.
He would be okay with that.
So
no.
there is a right answer. The right
I
answer
was
is you
actually
fuck the dog.
completely
That's it.
listening because
That's
for me,
it.
this fact-
If somebody holds a gun to your head and they're like, you've got to fuck a dog which has a pussy, or you fuck a dude and there's like some big sweaty hairy dude there and he's just bent over holding his ass open, you wouldn't even think. There's no straight guy would even think. Any straight dude would just straight away just be like, you don't even finish the question. The guy's holding a gun and says, I'm going to kill your family and I'm going to kill you as well afterwards. And you have to, I wouldn't even, you wouldn't even wait for him to say pick. You just go in there, dip your dick in the dog pussy, and you take the family back into the car and you're driving home.
Okay.
And you just, no, that's it. You look at your family in the backseat of the car and you're driving home and you're just like, Dad, listen, your son ain't gay. You can be proud. And then you pull over a fucking Chick-fil-A, you have your food, you forget about it. You're like, we're not talking about this shit ever again. Enjoy your chicken. That's it. We go home.
Well, to be honest, I didn't hear the part because I was completely distracted that it would be her being shot. I thought it would be me being shot because I would rather just end my life than
He would bang the dude. Let's end it there.
But
for me,
definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't put
I'll
myself
I'll
in that
just
situation.
I'll decide
I would
for
just
you.
make sure
Just bang the dude.
that no, I wouldn't put myself in that situation.
Pat, there's no way that you would respect Steve if he banged the dude.
I wouldn't
To
just
save my life.
wouldn't put myself in that situation. I just would, end it. So then
I'm just saying, if like if it's wartime, they get you to do fucked up shit.
Oh no,
there's fucked up
If
shit
it's wartime, and look, Damon, if we're at the point where they're telling us to do this because we're like captured or whatever, I'd say just like get rid of both of us right now.
Like,
what is the point?
I don't need weapons to take someone out.
Yeah,
I know thousands.
That's right. You don't.
Yeah, you would chew that. You would chew that dick off. Like,
yeah, I'd chew it off, take it, and then strangle the guy with it. Depending on.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Next to me, and then I there's all kinds. You don't like. There's no reason to get in that position.
Yeah, like
doggy style.
Okay, look. At the end of the day, like you always have the option to just off yourself as a family.
I just, it's time to step out.
Hey, and you don't have to do it because then it's not a sin. You just be like, okay, then we're not going to do it. Guess what you guys have to do, and then we get out of the situation anyways.
I just wouldn't put myself in that position.
Well,
anyways, so we are is that everything for today? Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I feel like we shouldn't be talking about dogs this way. It's inappropriate.
Yeah, those bitches be crazy.
Yeah, I think. Well, wasn't it a little while ago where girls are talking about hooking up with a bear?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
The hell is wrong with these people? They're white, right?
Hooking up or like being in the woods with a bear or a man. Wasn't that it? I don't think hooking up. I think you added that.
Well, I don't know. What the fuck else are you going to do? You're in the woods.
Oh,
a bear's going to have its way with you, for fuck's sake. I'm sorry. But like, if you think the bear's just going to sit there politely, you're getting eaten one way or another.
But wait, have you seen the videos of the OCD bear?
No.
So there's a few of them apparently. One of them is where it's walking down a road and there's this cone list. It could traffic cone. You know, the orange ones. It was on its side, so it goes and rights the cone up, puts it upright, and then keeps walking down the road. What bear does that? Look up OCD bear.
I don't really care.
Very cute.
I don't care.
You're looking at a corgi trying to bury
He's very smart.
No, he's not. He's a stupid.
Hold on. Everybody needs to see this. 1 second.
So this is Damon's first night out with his girlfriend. And then he's going to try to stick the stick in. He can't get it in.
Oh God.
That's all I'm thinking of. So he tries to bury it with his nose.
He's like,
Oh God.
look, this was your night, your
This
day.
is your night. Or whatever day, night.
Very cute.
Yeah, I managed to fit mine in. Just about.
Took a while, but you know, she ended up accepting it.
Okay. Oh my God. This is the cutest meme I've ever seen.
It definitely applies.
This is for International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day, everyone. Oopsie.
We're gonna get some hate for this.
No, this is fine. This is everybody knows every girl's tires rims look like this.
Yeah, they got a rim job.
Period. Stop. This
It could be an
girl
Asian
power.
person. So.
A who?
Could be Asian.
What's the difference?
Well, there's a huge difference.
It's the same to me.
You don't want to look up OCD bear.
I'm not. No,
Look up OCD bear.
Why do I have to look up OCD bear?
It's
Pretend like this is your job, Kat.
Winnie the Pooh characters and mental disorders? Is that it?
This one. Bert being an OCD bear.
Oh my God, I forgot about Winnie the Pooh.
There's no video.
There is a video somewhere. Oh, here you go.
This better be amazing. It's like not working.
Well, you could find another. Why would?
Anyways, let's move on topics. So anyways, I'm not going to spend all day.
Kat, find it.
I can't
find the
find
video.
it.
You did find it. It just didn't load.
I think the internet's too slow.
You're too slow.
The CCP is getting involved.
I don't see any bears.
No, you had found one. The one. There you go.
This link didn't work, so we can't use
Try it
that.
again.
It didn't work.
Okay, here we go.
There's no video.
There, that's the video.
Oh God.
Okay.
Which one is it? Oh no.
Well, we'll find it.
I don't want to look for like an hour. No.
Oh,
Look, it's 5,000 videos of bears. I'm not going through this. I'm sorry.
well,
We
you
couldn't
play-
find
no,
it.
No, but
No,
you
no,
can
no,
play
no, no.
this, and then you
Oh.
just minimize the screen. What?
Oh God.
This is important. This is good reporting.
I'm pretty sure it's not, but okay.
Let's make Ian Carroll.
I trust
proud.
Steve on this, Kat. No offense, but I trust Steve.
Okay, this is out in the wild, obviously. Bears walking along. Oh, traffic cone.
You don't have to narrate it. It's fine.
That shouldn't be that way. Let's put it back up. All right.
Now that Kat mentioned Winnie the Pooh, I'm picturing it as Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah,
This is it.
that's it.
Go on.
This is
So
it.
can you play it again? Play it again. I wasn't watching. Go on. If a bear had a voice, I'd imagine it to be like Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh has that voice that you expect coming from a bear.
Oh, there's a traffic cone. We need to put it up right.
No, that's like Attenborough. Winnie the Pooh is like, he would see the traffic cone and he would just be like, "Oh, bother." and he'd have to fix it. That's awesome. It's like he knows like that shouldn't be there, and he corrects it.
So I've not looked into other OCD bear videos, but this is one of them. I mean, do you want to
See?
Please God, no.
That just shows that that bear is doing more than somebody that's paid to do that job.
Well, anyways, is there anything else you guys want to talk about that's like not disgustingly horrific?
No, Cat, that just blew my mind.
God.
I'm done for the night now. I'm done for the night.
Completely done.
Just a bear,
Done in always.
Yeah. After a 6-week emptying and seeing a bear that can do what humans do.
Nobody told you that you had to do retention.
Cat, you know you said that. Or at least implied it.
I did not say that. I did not imply that. I never said anything about that.
Oh yeah, so I just fucking did it for fun then.
You did. I said with her. I didn't say with anyone.
I would complain, but I'm just too fucking shattered at this point. And that bear genuinely, that bear genuinely blew my mind. That was amazing.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I have a link.
She found another one.
Okay.
John, can you tell us how that story ended?
What are we watching? What is going on?
What the fuck?
What's going on?
It's trying to scratch his back.
How did he get hit in the nuts?
Just smacked in the nuts by that.
He can't move.
Oh God.
All right. So
Do you know what animal I feel the worst for?
I'm afraid to ask. Dogs? 666 week retention. Nutter disaster.
Oh, Damon left. Oops. There we go. It's all right if you want to leave.
No, sorry. Just got cut off for a second. No, I was saying that the animal that I feel worst for is, you guys must have seen it. It's the picture of the squirrel caught in a fence by its balls hanging upside down.
What? No.
You haven't seen that? Fuck. Just Google squirrel caught by its balls.
Wait,
It was
found
like,
it.
I think it's the worst. It's
No, she found something completely different.
nope.
How did that happen?
Vacuumed
Is
it in.
AI?
Turtles do move fast.
I've never seen a turtle. What are
Yeah,
you talking about? That's fake news.
Snapping turtles? When that's
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Yeah, just check for the squirrel on the fence hanging by its nuts.
balls.
Yeah, squirrel fence balls, and you'll see it.
Squirrel.
It just makes you. I've never felt so bad for. I'm like, I feel so bad for you right now.
UIR.
Squirrel nuts.
No,
Fence?
balls. Say balls fence. You say squirrel and nuts, you're gonna get a bunch of different pictures.
That's true. Okay, what am I looking for? Is it this
You'll know
one?
when you see it. Literally, poor guy's hanging upside down by its balls.
God. Okay. All right, how do I show this?
Warning contains footage some viewers may find distressing.
Oh, is this it? You guys are sick. Sick.
There's a few. There's a few. This isn't the one that I saw, but I've seen this one as well. This wasn't the one I was talking about, though. Why is the guy filming it? Just fucking help it, you dick. Just pull the fence apart.
Sick.
What is this? Is a common thing? Squirrels getting their
Well,
balls.
I think
Yes, the
they're-
one
I
that I
think-
saw. The one that I saw was a metal fence, and it was like
Oh,
two
God,
bits of
I don't
metal
want to
close
see
together.
that. I don't need to see this. Apparently, there's a lot of videos.
But it's like, how do you even get yourself in that position?
Ask the squirrel.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
Well, clearly
no.
it was,
I
Cat.
don't want to. No, I'm not showing. No, I'm not showing these. I'm not showing these. No,
What ones?
I think they're like
What?
ripping off too. No, thank you.
No.
Oh, no. The
I'm
one that I
not
saw,
into- I'm not
the one
into
that I saw wasn't ripped off.
Are you allowed to own squirrels and coyotes here?
Well, I know you can have sugar gliders.
That's not.
Some states allow for raccoons.
Sugar gliders.
Why don't we
stink,
live
though.
in a raccoon state?
I think they do. They allow raccoons as house pets here? They might. In our state, I don't remember. We're not getting a pet raccoon. No, you have to like put padlocks and everything.
You can have a tiger here because Tiger King was here. So how do we get one of those?
We don't. That's how you get it. We just don't.
Do you think I'd be allergic to tigers just like house cats, or you think like
Get a serval. Get a serval instead. You'll be happy with that.
I need something where like it doesn't have like a lot of allergies.
A hairless shiny.
I
cat.
don't like hairless cats. The whole point of the cat is that it's got lots of floof.
Oh well, then good luck. But this you can't. You got like squirrels are gonna have allergy issues as
Yeah,
well.
because I'm allergic to the hamster, so probably be allergic to the squirrels and bunnies. Bunnies didn't give me that much allergies, actually. Birds, a lot. I couldn't breathe with the birds. Birds is way too much. We can have a pet gator. I had a friend that he lived in a trailer park. My friend's ex-boyfriend. Oh, no,
Classy-
actually, no. They
classy
moved. They got
individual.
married. Whatever. He lived in a trailer park,
You live in a
and
double wide now.
no, and then he had a pet alligator in his front. I guess it's a yard front plot. I guess like front of the trailer.
Was this the same place that you smelled crack?
Yes.
Okay, so just curious.
So you smell crack, and they've
Wait,
got an
wait.
alligator.
There's a gator.
What do you think the smell of burning crack smells like? Damon.
You're asking me? I don't know. I'm a well-behaved boy.
I have heard that it smells like burning plastic.
I have heard that it smells like cotton candy burning.
Yeah. So this is
No, I think it's meth. What does meth smell like? Cleaning products, ammonia, harsh, unpleasant,
burnt
sweet,
plastic.
or cotton candy. In some cases, the smell of meth can be deceptive and almost sweet.
Some cases.
This was one of those.
Okay. But other cases, burnt plastic.
No. But here, it didn't say burnt plastic. Oh, it does say.
What the hell are they putting in it to make it smell like cotton
So I
candy?
guess it
Is
depends on how they make it.
Is that
So
like a disguise that they add in
probably,
there?
sure.
Oh, we're gonna add some bubblegum flavor.
11 different smells of meth.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow, look at
Nice.
this.
window cleaner.
Meth, when smoked, has a sweet smell. So I was smelling someone actually smoking it, not making it. Wow.
I'd love to see the guy writing this. Let me explain to you the 12 different ways that meth can smell. He's like a sommelier of meth.
Cat urine.
Oh my god! This article is
What
on
are you
the
doing this summer? Oh, we're going on a meth tasting up in the up in the hills. It's like the fuck.
There's aromas of cat urine and cotton candy.
Yeah, you might get hints of burning plastic with a little aftertaste of cotton candy that's been cooked a little too long.
The back of the throat just hits you just right. You got that
I love it.
burning.
Some guy dressed up smartly in a nice tuxedo, but he's got no teeth.
Yeah, it just all gums.
Yeah.
Happens to be gay for some reason. The gums, obviously.
Yes. Anyways, so it could smell like sweet, like cotton candy. It could smell like
Window cleaner.
cold medicine, battery at the chlorine, window cleaner, vinegar, burning plastic, nail polish remover.
So, but Kat, let me just
paint thinner, hospital.
Let me just ask Kat. So you said that you smelt this coming from a property where somebody had an alligator.
No, not his property, the neighbors.
Wait, who had the alligator? The neighbors, or
No. My friend's now husband had the alligator.
And the neighbors smelled like they were cooking meth.
Yes, or doing it, or smoking it, or whatever you do to it.
Why did your friend?
I only knew that because he's like, oh, the neighbors do meth. That's the smell.
So is that why he bought an alligator? I'm gonna need a watchdog who's an alligator.
I mean,
alligator was high on meth, and that's how it goes.
Because I thought that you said that the neighbors had an alligator and it smelled like they were cooking meth. Because I'd be like, yeah, that alligator's hiding bodies. Like,
look, I don't know. I don't get involved.
Not your thing. You don't get
involved.
involved.
It's not my thing. Look,
not a problem.
Also, people tell me stuff, and I don't judge. I just.
No, but let's be honest. If you've got a pet alligator, and if there's anything about you that seems slightly illegal, like maybe you're selling drugs or cooking drugs or whatever.
Yes.
There is no doubt that the reason why you've got that alligator is to dispose of bodies. That's the only reason.
Well, we don't really need that because we're very close to the Everglades if you need to do that.
We got an ocean.
And we're close to the ocean, yeah.
Lots of bodies have been disposed of. I mean,
pigs as well. Yes, pigs.
Yes, and pigs are very important too. But we have wild boars here in the Everglades. Not the Everglades, but like I guess it's the Everglades. It's the plain. It's not the swampy part, but the plain parts. There's wild boars.
Yes, there are. Yeah, you can go hunt them.
Yeah, it's super cool. So you can just literally find some and leave some bodies in front of it, and they'll do it.
And apparently there's a lot of wild boar, and it's not difficult to find them. According to
pigs are better though because they digest it a lot quicker.
Yes, this is what we
digest it slowly.
Or just open up a pit barbecue, and
you could sell them.
Yes,
quick climb in a bathtub.
I mean,
well, this is taking a dark turn.
Yeah, you know what? I think we've gone to the dark side tonight. We started off pretty strong. I feel like we started off pretty strong. We had some good topics, and then
I came.
No, before you came, we had already flown down, and then it exploded in our
all
faces.
over our face.
Yes. Okay, what did it smell like for you? Because we have several smells that it could smell like. It could smell sweet like cotton candy. It could have a powerful chemical smell, right? It could smell like window cleaner, vinegar, burning plastic, nail polish remover, cat urine, rotten eggs, paint thinner, paint factory smell, a hospital-like smell. So those are the different types of meth smells. So I don't know
Can
what
I
type
just
you
ask?
were around.
Can I just ask the previous comment by Ghost? How much? No, by Ghost Cat. How much meth are they flushing down the toilet to get gators high? It's like,
Look, we
I think
have a
it's going to
lot
be like
here.
that. You know the cocaine bear story? Do you know the other one, which was the cocaine sharks? I think
No.
it's usually, I think what it might be is that somebody had some bricks of cocaine hidden somewhere, or maybe like some meth that was supposed to be delivered and it was hidden somewhere and they got a hold of it and then just started eating it, because there was apparently like some drug deal that went south and a bunch of cocaine ended up overboard and sharks ate it, and they went on this fucking rampage, just like killing a bunch of surfers and swimmers. Did you hear about that?
No. Where was
Yeah.
it?
Like they went fucking frenzied. They killed, I don't think it killed a lot of people, but like the attacks were like really, really weird.
Well, so remember, certain animals don't have well-functioning livers, and they can build up in their system. So
Yeah.
maybe that is going on.
They can't detox.
Like cats, for instance, can't have alcohol.
Just
Livers
die.
are quite small.
Have you seen what happens if you pour alcohol on a scorpion?
Before you eat it or after?
Before.
No, I have not seen that.
Like it doesn't even need to. It's just a reaction of what happens to its nervous system. Like if you pour it on a scorpion, like it doesn't even need to like drink it or whatever. It just goes on it, and
Yeah, it'll absorb to the skeleton.
seizes, it stings itself to death.
Ah,
Beautiful.
so I'll be sure to pour alcohol into my shoes every time I go to Australia.
Nice.
You're shopping on Amazon?
No. Shut up.
She can't handle it.
Ooh.
What?
Laters. So, okay, overall, I rate this stream 4 asteroids. Thank you. That's better than last time, right? Are we getting better?
And John's earlier comment, I don't know if you've seen it, but watch it if you haven't. Cocaine Bear.
Yes.
It's funny. It's okay. It's a laugh to watch. It's silly, but it's fun.
Okay. I mean,
It's based on the actual real life story. It's taken liberties, obviously, but it's based on the real life story of the bear that ate all that cocaine and went crazy before his heart exploded.
Saffron is retinol?
What? No.
Saffron has retinol?
I don't know.
I think I heard that, but really low amounts, I think.
You would have to have so much.
To ask the grok.
You're better off just buying the most expensive retinol oil or cream, because like saffron is more expensive than anything.
Saffron has a lot of benefits.
No, it does not.
Yeah, okay, so it doesn't. So the saffron has a lot of benefits neurologically. It helps with, I think, issues with impotence when taking SSRIs. If I'm misquoting that, I might be. So if you're taking some sort of psychiatric medication and you're having sexual issues, then saffron's supposed to help with that. I'm not entirely sure. That's off the top of my head, so I don't know if that's true or not. To look that up. It helps with eye health. That's in my eye formula that I take.
Nice.
It's calming. And the reason why they think saffron has all these health benefits is that the people that harvest it, they tend to they're very calm, they're happy, there's a bunch of other things.
That's why Persians like
Yeah,
saffron.
probably because they know they're going to make so much fucking money selling it. It's like,
no,
if I was selling something that was 100 times more expensive than cocaine, then I'd be happy as well.
But these were the workers that were owned by the family that owned the village. They were making that money.
It's the most expensive spice for a reason. It's very expensive and very good for you. But
Don't you only
Persians-
get like 2 little strands per plant?
Yes, that's why it's so expensive, because
Yeah.
they have to have thousands and thousands and thousands and then harvest them by hand because they're so delicate.
See,
and then they have
I'm not saying slavery is a good thing, but
How else will we get saffron?
it does make life better.
But those people picking those saffron stigmas, they are happy. It's getting all over their hands, getting into their body. They're inhaling it, they're touching it.
So
Yeah.
the saffron's
So
like a pollen?
I think then the
No,
takeaway this time to the whole stream, Cat, going full circle back to the beginning, the takeaway from this stream,
Yes.
where we began by saying, what would we do to make America better?
Saffron.
I think
Saffron?
the
Slavery.
takeaway is, I think the takeaway would be
Slaves
when-
would just harvest saffron to give it to everybody.
I think go back in time, and when you confront the ugly history with slavery in America, you get rid of cotton and you just get them all to farm saffron instead.
Yeah, they would be so happy.
They'd be happy.
You
They'd
know,
be so
saffron doesn't
happy.
have thorns. You know, cotton has thorns. It's terrible.
And they'd be so chilled out, apparently, according to Steve. I think
they
they'd
would
be so chill.
Yes,
They'd be
because
so chill that they wouldn't even need to be a rebellion. You wouldn't need to like
they would be
free them.
happier than the wealthiest people.
And you know,
I think, according to Steve, that they wouldn't even be asking about reparations.
No, they'd be like, we get to touch billions of dollars of saffron all the time.
I would like to add on to that.
Oh no.
So there's countries like our country, and many corporations have made money off of what I'm about to say.
God.
And we have even had our troops guard this sacred plant.
Is this poppy?
Sacred plant, poppy.
No, we're not
We
doing
should
drugs.
also grow poppy. You know,
No.
George Bush
I
was
don't
called
think that would be a good
Poppy
idea.
for a reason. He was called Poppy because he was protecting the poppies with military in Afghanistan. So
allegedly.
And those people were very happy. They were
My only issue is that the people there are a group of people today that when they go to hospital, they're completely immune to opiates. Yeah. Not like a little bit immune, but completely immune. Like opiates don't work on them at all.
Yeah.
And they found out that the reason why was because they all shared a common ancestry with a group of people that once upon a time were farming poppies. So when you're exposed to that, when you're doing poppy farming, your body basically develops an immunity to opiates, anything derived from poppy, like any kind of drugs. And all of the best painkillers are opiate based. So like when we talk about like how, anesthesia is such a great thing and you have the analgesics that you have today, imagine going for surgery and being like, you can't have anything that's an opiate derivative. That would kind of suck balls. But that's what happens to the human body when you're farming poppies. You develop an immunity to them, analgesia wise, which kind of sucks.
So also I would like to say that also cannabis is not a good option because it makes you lazy and it actually makes you feel calm when you're using it. But the second you're not using it, it makes you more depressed and lower than before baseline. That's why you need
And
stronger
it's
and stronger and stronger.
proven,
It also
proven
makes you
that,
feminine.
and proven that you have long-term brain damage, cognitive decline from it,
Yes, that too. Because it
even
takes
after stopping.
yeah.
But the feminizing aspects of it are the fucking worst.
Boobs.
Well, actually,
And gets rid of your
Low
motivation.
let's give
and
this
no
people
tea.
a little bit of a hope. So
No, there's no hope.
No,
We
there
don't
is.
give fake
Just
hope.
a minute. So Amen, I don't like the guy that much.
Dr. Amen.
Dr. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Okay.
So he posted some video. He said he's looked at 250,000 brain scans from across the world. And what he did find is that even if you damage your brain with alcohol, drugs, all these things, that you can change your brain back to a healthy state, and it takes only months. It is not like you have a death sentence and you should just continue on your path.
Yes.
So
all of them, all the strains. Yes.
So if you do stop cannabis, your brain will recover. That's the point of that.
Yes,
But when he says you can change it to a healthy state,
well, I mean,
by doing what though? By doing what?
So he didn't state that, but
you can look at his videos. He has videos on things you can
do.
do.
We do know that like exercise is nutrition for brain. So if you want to produce more BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factor, the most easiest way, cost effective, because it's zero cost, is you bring your heart rate up to 70% of maximum. So that's 220 minus your age, 70% of that.
Yes.
Hold it for 5 minutes, and that will stimulate production of BDNF. It's difficult to produce BDNF, but brain-derived neurotropic factor helps with neuroplasticity in the brain. Yeah, neuroplasticity means making new connections.
And there was many other things that he says on his videos for
there's a whole bunch
fixing
of other things,
that kind of damage, and it can help with your mood, because the reason
but
why
I gotta say,
they have low mood.
Looking at Steve's advice though, it's hard to get some brain damaged ex-smoke stoner to be like, hey dude, like you've just come off of a massive bender just doing a whole bunch of weed and shit, and now you want to fix yourself. How'd you do that? Get your heart rate up to 70.
No,
70% of the max. Get on the treadmill, you fucking stoner. It's
the police are coming. You better start running. They're gonna test your blood, bloke. Get down the road.
But now it's legal, so.
But yeah, if he's a crackhead, or if he's just shot up some heroin, or if he's like, yeah, sure, he'll fucking outpace Usain Bolt running down the street. Right. But if it's a stoner, he'll be like, oh well, I guess I'm caught. It's like, no, you're not, dude. The neighbors literally just got off the phone calling the police. They'll be here in about 15 minutes. Oh well, I give up. It's like, no, you can still run. No, I can't. They'll just wait there for the fucking police.
You got on the Cheetos.
Yeah. Got time to make a hot pocket before they come.
Hot pocket.
Good job. All right, guys. Well, today's been interesting, a little out of line, but I think that's to be.
That's your fault, Kat.
Wow.
Well, somebody got laid tonight, and
who? Oh, Damon. That's right. We still have time.
Yeah, maybe if Kat didn't have that burrito earlier.
Burrito? You had a burrito?
No, it was naan and chicken, and I put the chicken in the naan.
You made a burrito. You made an Indian burrito.
Ah. Very nice. Anyways, so thank you guys all for coming to hang out. I hope you were entertained. Leave a comment, like, share. And if you guys have any ideas for topics for next week, get to the Discord server and let me know. You can do that here. Let me show you the link in case you're not already in there. Get to the Discord. Tell us what topics. If there's anything that you want me to look at, tag me in it.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, I think
You're gonna get a lot of
Okay, stop. Anything that you want me to talk about on next week, tag me in it and I'll look at it. And until then, everybody have a good night. We'll see you next time.
The Jews. Talk about the Jews.